Hello, coming to you live from Mafi's backyard. This is Level Up Live. I'm Baguette, and I am joined by three lovely individuals today to talk about branding. Everyone knows that as a content creator, branding can make or break you. It can be also either the easiest thing in the world to come up with or the hardest. And we've got some really great brands present today to speak about how they came up with their brands, things like to think about when it comes to branding, maybe even some things they're working on in terms of their branding. First guest we have here is Mafidella. Mafi, do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Well, if you left my backyard alone, I'd feel even more comfortable, actually. But
yes.
It's
my brand.
Of course. Well, previously referred to as Purple. Hi, I'm Mafi. I'm back on your screens again.
Paz?
Hi, I'm Paz. I don't have a brand. In fact, you can never catch me anywhere. I'm not real. I don't exist.
Oh, Paz, I'm gonna tear into you over that comment later. Not having a brand. How many times has Paz said to you, "My brand"?
No. Okay, well, we'll get into this later. But part of my brand is also the persona that I put on. I'm a bit of a troll. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. We'll get into it. And of course, our special guest, Knuxy.
Hey, it would be Knuxy, would it be Knuxy, man? I love you, BB. Listen, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Holy crap. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the sabotage I've been doing to your brand later with my emote.
Yes. Now everybody in my chat wants that emote so badly, yo. Like, what?
So good. I almost got rid of it the other day. I almost did, but then I was like, nah, I can't let them down like that. I can't let them down.
Oh God, dude. But you know what's so funny, real quick, because I have, besides you, BB, I have like maybe 4 other streamers that have put me as their emo in the most trolling ways. And I'm like, why don't y'all have your own emos? Why y'all make me an emo? Like, what's going on? Why I gotta be everybody's like emo? Man? Yo, I hate that. It's one of me dancing. Of course, you already probably seen that. Another me with just like a mustache, you know, a taped on mustache. Oh my God, dude, it's a lot.
I think Mcknux takes the cake, though. I really do. I gotta claim credit for that. It's the best.
You create. I hate you so much.
A gift from God, some may say.
Why? Why is that a thing? And now everybody wants to join the CTGs. I'm like this. No, what's a CTG? I'm like, I don't want to tell you, man. I don't care if that's part of the brand. I don't want to tell you at all. No.
It's part of the brand. It drives engagement. It drives engagement, you know?
It does, but I hate it.
It's content. It's content, baby.
God. Oh, man. In the most trolling way, but I appreciate it, though. Seriously.
Oh, man. So we've all introduced ourselves and said our names. I thought one really great way to kick off the conversation would be to talk about your name, your username online. Where did it come from? How did you come up with it? How much does it factor into your brand? I think that's like the thing that we don't think about as content creators sometimes, right? Because a lot of content creators, we started as just consumers of content, right? So you start up your Twitch account, make your little username, you pick your little name, and then suddenly you want to get into it, and you're like, oh crap, do I just keep this name, or like what do I do here, right? So, Mcknux, since you're our guest, do you want to start off? Tell us, where did Mcknux come from? What's the history there? What's the story? What's the tie-in with the brand?
Oh man, you talk about 1994. Yeah, I'm that old. Yeah, 94. How about that? Exactly. Nah, so that's when the birth of Knuckles came out. You know, one of my favorite video game characters, and that's my favorite video game of all time was Sonic 3, and then Sonic and Knuckles as well too for the Sega Genesis. Once that game came out, I was playing that. That was my first system. I'm a 4th generation gamer. Sega Genesis came out. My sister actually bought me my first console, so shout out to my sister. And then I was playing that heavily. Got into the Sonic fandom early. So when like I said, 1994, when Knuckles came out, Sonic 3, that was my guy. You know, the most trolling character in video game history. You know, And yeah, so that kind of as a young 6-year-old kid in 1994, now you can guess my age. 6-year-old kid, 1994. Basically, I wanted to act like Knuckles in school. You know, I wanted to troll. Yeah, I was a little bit of a bully in school for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you want to be like Knuckles, you want to troll people, you want to bother people. Yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, yeah, be like Knuckles, man. Until, you know, now, you know, they made Knuckles the anti-hero and of course part of the Sonic Heroes and all that. So yeah, I followed my boy for the longest since then, since he was born into this video game world. And of course the MC is I put that right in front of Knucks, man, which is pretty much my name. You know, you can go Google and see my name is, but yeah, so it's MC is my initials, and then Knucks, man, as far as what my allegiance ties to, which is of course Knuckles. And I want to be like Knuckles, man, so much, man. It's the determination, it's the, you know, it's the you know, him, the strength, you know what I mean? I wanted to the resilience, you know, he don't take no crap, you know. That's why I always had that persona in school, you know, and it just followed me even after high school to what you see today, you know. So that was the name behind Mcknux. So yeah, it's just the huge part of me, the fandom that just kept on going since I was a kid, you know, and it just never changed, you know. And it's the greatest thing too, because a lot of times, yeah, you're right, BB. You have those times where you'll make a name first, you know. You especially like, you know, back in the days of PlayStation, names like XX underscore, you know, bread lover XX underscore. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, I don't want to be known by that, man, for my, you know, my whole life video game career. Let me change it to something more, you know, genuine, you know what I mean? Something that's, you know, in the minds of a lot of people, you know, that's easy in the minds of a lot of people. So yeah, Mcknux was, I picked Mcknux, and thank God I didn't have to change the name, you know. It just kept on going. Everybody in school called me Nux, you know what I mean? And just like, you know, it went further, you know, into the convention scene, to the video game scene, to the streaming scene, content creation. Everybody's like Mcknux, which I rarely hear my government name anymore, which is great, because I forgot my government name. I totally forgot my government name. Now I want to keep it like that, you know. That's
so
great.
valid. Yeah. So really, it's kind of MC Nux. You ever thought about doing like DJ work under like that title right there? You know,
the funny
MC
thing,
Nux.
yeah, the funny thing too, and a lot of people always say like, is it MC Nux or is it Mcknux? You know what I mean? And I was like, it's either. And I'll say I'm an MC as well. When it comes to, and me and Mafia was just talking about, you know, convention scenes and you know, the plans as well. But for me, what I did in the convention scene, I'm highly in the convention scene as well too. What I used to do, especially in the East Coast, or I still do now, is I MC a lot of cosplay contests, you know. So you'll see me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you'll see me if I'm near a convention near you, or somebody asks me like, hey, Mcknux, we want you to like MC the cosplay contest. You know, we love your energy. I'm like, sure, yeah, absolutely. You know, and I will be on stage hyping the people up, you know, getting the crowd hype, you know, announcing all the cosplayers come out on stage, you know, making sure, you know, the crowd loves them. And that's what I do. That was my job, you know, and I do that at a lot of conventions in the East Coast, you know. So that's, you can say, yeah, it's MC because I am an MC, and then you know, it's Mcknux because, you know, because I'm lazy, you know. Mcknux is less syllables, but yeah, so those were the two. I don't care, you know what I mean? It's either or, you know, which is perfect for me.
Just
Nice.
disappointed, what's it called? No McDonald's Sonic collab or anything that, you know, I was waiting for that part of the story.
Mafi, that was years ago. See, Mafi, that was like, probably, oh, man, I would say, man, see, I don't want to be a boomer and all that too, but maybe that was, when did Sonic toys come out of McDonald's? That was,
quite a while.
God, yeah, that was a long time ago. And I don't know, Mafi, I don't know if you remember that too. Yo.
Oh man.
I get it. I'm a 2001. I haven't seen anything.
It's okay. I'm a 97 and I haven't either, so you're totally good.
Wow, babies. I love you.
Yeah, I remember.
There you go, pass. Me and you're old. I'm happy. Let's go.
Oh man. See, I thought you were gonna come out here and be like, it's like, you know, when somebody is, you know, Irish or Scottish, whichever one, it has the Mick. I can't remember.
Right, yeah. Irish is like that. Yeah,
So you're the son of Knuckles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Son of Nux. Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go. And like I said, that thing just carried me throughout so many years, you know, in school, out of school. And I was like, yeah, I love it. I'm not going to change it. I'm good, you know?
All right, which one of you's going next? I'm interrogating you.
How about yourself?
You misread
What about
it.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I can. Okay, so, obviously, so there's a couple of things that I really love in this world. One is I love all things French. I also enjoy, of course, bread, French bread specifically. I studied French, I speak French, all those things. I had lived in France twice in my life and really liked it both times. When I was looking to start watching Twitch, I actually came to Twitch. Shout out PG Saiyan for getting me on Twitch in the first place with your TikToks. I needed to make an account, right, to like watch. And I thought about, well, what if you ever want to stream? Because I do like video games, right? And conveniently enough, I actually had the perfect name already semi-quasi picked out because I had also recently signed up for Reddit for the first time in my life and just kind of had this epiphany. I really enjoy alliteration is the second thing I very much enjoy. So like, it's like, oh, Baguette Baby. That's like adorable. Like it's a cute, adorable little username for Reddit. It's not taken yet. Nobody's used it, so it's original. And I was like, shoot, yeah, I'll just go for it. I'll take my Reddit username and I'll go put it over on this Twitch. And then I think it's a decent enough brand name. I could probably make that work if I ever decided I wanted to do something with this. And then it was like a little over a year into my Twitch watching experience that I decided to start streaming. So I was really lucky in that I had the forethought because otherwise I don't even know what I would have been. Like, I have no idea. You might be looking at a bread lover XOXO. I mean, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7.
Yeah.
It's quite funny because, like, I think especially as we're closer to you in that friend circle, which we are very grateful for, I call you Bag.
Yeah.
And it's like, it completely, like, on paper deviates from the name Baguette Baby and all that kind of suggests, like, Bag. Yeah, I was talking to a bag.
Yep. Bags, bagels. What else do I have? Just bread lady. I get called all kinds of things. Yeah.
That's the funny thing too, BB, because it's like I have a bunch of my little cousins. I babysit all the time. My little cousins, and the funny thing is they always turn to your Twitch on TV, right? While I'm doing like work in the back and all that too.
That's so
and
cute.
And they're like Nux. They're like Nux, Uncle Nux. The bread lady's on. The bread lady's on. That's what they call you all the time. The bread lady's on. I'm like, oh my God, it's the bread lady. Or if it's Paz, they always equivalent Paz to like KFC guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
KFC guy.
It's the KFC. Like the KFC guy is on. And I'm like, okay, I guess Paz's brand is KFC.
It is.
Great.
It really is. I'm really honored that the bread part of my brand seems to have stuck because we'll talk about this later. Lord knows I go all over the place with it. So I'm glad that the bakery aspect seems to have at least like pervaded enough minds that it sticks. Because oh man, they could call me all kinds of things. They could call me Baggy Waggy. Oh boy, we'll talk about Baggy Waggy in a minute, I'm sure. It's gonna come up.
She's my favorite part of your brand.
Yeah, it's the part you made. That's just your ego talking, Pez.
Beautiful.
Well, Poppy Playtime definitely enjoyed it.
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah. They did. Shout out Mob Entertainment for coming in and making that one of the most iconic streams ever. I'm so sad that I forgot to save that VOD, but we've got screenshots of the chat, which is good. Oh man. All right, Paz, the KFC man. Talk about your name. Where'd it come from? What does it mean?
Well, probably
How'd you
should
choose
rewind
it?
the clock. So when I originally was going to get into this, I wasn't going to be Paz. I was going to be Dr. Zakta. You know, weird.
Really?
I know. Very
Really?
weird. Yes, very weird. Wasn't even gonna be a human. I was gonna be an orc. It was gonna be funny. It was supposed to be just like a whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gonna be a whole gimmick thing. But like then that just kind of like I paid a company to design the whole thing. It didn't really pan out. Wasn't really that great. I'm like, I'm just gonna go a different direction with this. So I just ended up using my old D&D character and just kind of rolling with it. I even like went in with I originally started with the whole French accent because the character is indeed French, unironically.
We're destined.
And then after like the third stream, when my inner, like when you have like your own inner thoughts, it starts having a French accent. You're like, I should probably stop.
I should make this stop. Yeah, you think? I don't know. I don't know what that feels like. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is that so, eh?
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. What about you, Mafi?
Oh, I was gonna ask before we actually moved on to you. Are we always pronouncing your name wrong? Like, was there ever like a French inflection in the way you pronounce?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Like Pazuah?
So
Paz.
I've always went
Pazuah.
So the oo is more of a wah.
Pazuah.
But I want to preface that there is no right way to say it, because everybody says it differently, and I'm perfectly fine with it. It's whatever is easiest to roll off of their tongue. So some people call me Paz. I know Johnny calls me Pez, like a Pez dispenser. Like, it's all over the place.
When
and
are
it's
you
fine.
getting a Pez dispenser model? That we need that. We need Pez dispenser Paz.
Right.
And when you talk, you just go
Really?
Oh my God, make that happen, please.
I hate it here.
Oh my God. I will buy that in a heartbeat, man.
Maybe
Next
if I
time,
ever get
new
merchandise. I'm
Hell
sorry.
yeah.
It just dispenses mini frying pans instead of Pez.
Oh my God. I'm with that, 100%.
I
Oh
hate that
God.
frying pans is a part of my brand too. Because
It's
both
such a
in,
good part of your brand.
because
though.
it's like also like in the lore of the characters, it's like there's a reason why he hates them, because he was trapped in one. It's like, and of course it's part of the brand. Same with the genie, which is also very ironic. Very ironic.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about Genie Paz and Colonel Paz. I'm so excited to get to that part of this podcast. Oh, our alter egos. But first, Mafi needs to talk about her name.
Yes. It's funny because I think since middle school, I just kind of had this thing of never going by my actual name. It's not like I didn't like it. It was just very uncommon, so it was very like doxable. So I was very aware of that really early on, which is kind of impressive because some people still kind of like they just have that embarrassing account under their real name that like from Facebook or something that they're trying to still cover up. But for all I know, I only ever get called Maf or Mafi. Maf is basically short for like my actual name IRL. Those of you who know, don't drop that in the comment section. but what's it called? It's so funny. Like Mafi used to almost be like a teasing nickname in middle school that I kind of didn't like, because like everyone's like, oh, Mafi, and then it eventually stuck. And it was just the name that I had kind of like forever. Because I remember even like my original Twitch username, which I used just to watch Runaway Tourist, who does really amazing art from time to time. But I think they also did like a bridge series of like, what is it? The Stony Prince anime, and then some other stuff, but that was pretty cool. So at that time I went by Runaway Mafi, and then I think just eventually I have this thing where certain names just sound so cool to me. Like there's like a soccer player that's named Odysseus Vlachodimos, and I'm like, that is so cool. I wish I was Greek. And had like a really cool like sick name. And then I was playing Football Manager and found a name called, or last name, Delvedova. And I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. I'm gonna yoink that as an alias to people that didn't know me as Mafi. So I used Della as the first name and then Vidova as the last name. And then eventually what I did was I put two aliases that I go by together, the Mafi and then Della. And that's where it comes from. But it's pretty silly. I like how some names are just like how they sound, and that's all it took.
I like all of those stories a lot. Those are, I think we all have really interesting ways to come up with our names. We have childhood passion, old D&D character, aliases, and I like bread, and alliteration.
Perfect.
So what advice would you guys give to somebody who's looking to start creating content if they're selecting a username? What do you think makes a good handle?
Honestly, oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So real quick, because honestly, it's something that has to stick, has to sound right coming off of the tongue. Something that can be, and I always tell people, it's got to be something that's on a T-shirt that I can wear. Yeah, you can have a long name.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put on a T-shirt. I'm not gonna, nah. You gotta have something that's gonna stick. Something that's gonna be like, oh yeah, I am, part of the Mafia crew. I'm a part of the Paz crew. I'm part of the Baguette crew. Something that's gonna stick so well, man. That is like, it just sounds great. First gotta sound great to you, and then and of course others gonna, once you put that in the mindset of others, everybody will get used to it. Trust me, everybody had to get used to saying Mcknux. Instead of saying my name or saying MC Nux when I got correct. I'm like, yeah, it's Mcknux, but you can say that Mcknux. And it's like, yeah, I like that name, Mcknux, man. You know what? Or celebrities saying like, yo, Mcknux, man, good to see you. It just had to roll off the tongue. It just had to sound great to them. If it sounds great to you, it will sound great to them easily.
Yeah,
what were you gonna say?
All I was gonna say is like, I honestly think like if you don't have a vision or like an idea of what you want your brand name or your brand or anything about it, that's perfectly fine. I say like let it develop itself and just constantly refine it, because if you sit there and you kind of struggle trying to like, oh man, what am I gonna look like? What is my name gonna be? How am I gonna act? Like what kind of overlay? Like you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be in a kind of a conundrum where you're just gonna be stuck like constantly thinking and trying to develop instead of actually doing. And you'll find like there's a lot of stuff that's attached to my personal brand that I never originally intended having. Like a lot of you may know that I have an owl, Mr. Endy. He was never meant to be there. He was just kind of like something that just popped up as a fun little thing to mess with, and now he's permanently attached to my brand. And like I guarantee you, if I do a stream without him, people are gonna be like, where's the owl? Where is he? Like,
I think I've done that in your chat before.
Yeah, like
where's Endy?
He's now a part of the brand. And so like you'll find like as you kind of like start doing things, you're like, well, maybe the name doesn't really match. I'm just gonna refine. I'm gonna change it. And like, that's fine. That's 100% fine. Let yourself kind of just like mess around until you get like something more solid in your head.
I think one aspect that you also have to consider, and it's a little unfortunate, I know Baguette is struggling with that, I think with her Twitter, is I think once you settle for a name, you should check those handles, especially everything that you're interested in. Get those handles right away. Once you're like very comfortable with that name.
I don't know who took Pazuah on.
Oh yeah, you're Pazuah 1.
Yeah, there's another one out there.
Are you serious?
It makes me so mad. I am Baguette_Baby on every single platform except for Twitter. I have 2 underscores, and I have looked up Baguette Baby to find the page. You can't find it. It's like deactivated, but you can't have the username.
Yes, you can. You can go in and.
No, I've changed it. I've tried to change it. And it's like, sorry, it's already being used, but you cannot find the account that's using it.
What?
I know, it's wild.
So there's like no way of contacting Twitter, and saying like, hey, same thing for you, Paz. No way of contacting Twitter is like, hey, this account has been, inactive for X amount of years. Can I take this because it's part of my brand? It's the same thing with Twitch. Like Twitch, we're waiting for my podcast, Pass Controller. There's also a Pass Controller on Twitch, but it hasn't like not even streamed for a year and a half. I'm like,
oh wow,
yo, Twitch, let me take that name from it, please, because I'm doing my show. I do it monthly. I would love to take that name because it fits the brand. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. Like I'll say, hit the customer service, man. And that's really for anybody that wants to stick with a name. Yeah, there's going to be some people that's going to be trolling and take your name. Some people try to take my name plenty of times. But hey, there's ways to overcome that. Ways to overcome that.
Yeah.
I think.
So we've.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just gonna recap. So we've talked about like making sure it sounds nice, making sure it could be good on like merch or on a t-shirt. We've talked about the fact that what you choose doesn't have to be what you stick with, but if you do find something you want to stick with, go claim it everywhere. What else do we think, like when it comes to that? Because I feel like the username is a foundational part of, you know, what your brand is eventually going to become, right? Like you can definitely change it, but like a whole rebrand, I mean, I'm going through my Discord account right now. I had to switch 2 Discord accounts. So it's a pain in the butt. Like, I don't even want to think about like a full rebrand. How annoying that would be. But what were you gonna say?
So what I found, so recently one of my friends, again, if you've listened to the previous one, I have a lot of IRL involvement. So a lot of my friends are developing their aliases, and we're getting used to kind of, it's funny, it's like, if it's just us, we'll just go by our actual names or something, or like IRL nicknames, and then we have that switch where it's like, if you're featuring in a collab with me, this is your name now, right? And like, what also helps is actually meeting new people under that like new alias that you gave yourself, because those new people, they have nothing else to call you by.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to start getting used to
like a litmus test of if you like it or not. Yeah.
Yep.
It's hilarious because I call Kel by Kel in real life. Like,
man.
her real name is just like it's a thing of the past now.
You know the brand is strong when even the IRL people in your life start calling you by the name. Like, dude, there's no way. Even if I knew some people's real names, I couldn't call them that.
You can't.
I can't.
That's good.
Like, I can't. Like, Paz is gonna be Paz.
Yep.
And Paz and I. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I ever meet y'all in real life, you know what I mean, it's gonna be BB, and I'm gonna get hug, or Mafi, let me pick you up real quick, or Pass, let me just throw you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to like, you're going to get used to with these brand names. You know what I'm saying? Like get used to it. That's gonna be that's another your alias for your life. You know, and it just again, once you get people used to that, it's perfect. Your brand has started off, you know?
Yeah. I think the other thing, along with all of these things, making it be something that you like is also important. Because if you hate your own username, then you're just gonna be constantly rebranding. Which is, there's no problem with that, but it does affect, I would say, like your like, well, what's the word? Like being recognized, right? Like having return like audience members, right? Because if you change your username drastically every 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, you know, your viewers that followed you, they're gonna see you in their feeds and not have a clue who you are, right?
Yeah.
And so making sure it's something that you like, and I think is also really important. Like it's just super important, and also something that's a little bit unique too, right? Because we don't want to have like I don't want to be like Shy Rose, because that I'm a VTuber, you know. Like, I mean, you could be, but like you don't want to copy somebody else either. Like don't be like, wow, like that name sounds really good, I want to be just like that person and have their name. Like some originality goes a long way as well with keeping you distinct from other content creators, which is really important, because the more people can remember you, the more likely they are to tune back in and engage with their content.
BB, I guarantee there's a baby baguette somewhere out there in the universe, dude.
Oh, I bet you, copiers.
Yeah, there's a baby baguette.
Why do you think I snagged croissant cutie everywhere? I did it.
Yeah, I get that.
I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. It's a backup plan. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, like you said, just if you're gonna change your name or change your brand, make sure you do it early in the career. You know, so that's the main thing. Do it real early. You know, like all of y'all now are getting such a community and a well-built community that right now, Mafi, Paz, and BB, like it's kind of too late to change it. You know what I mean? Like keep it. But for those that are up and coming, you know, that are trying to start off their content creation career, streaming career, whatever. If you want to start off, yeah, it's fine to change a little bit. But once you get, you know, situated and your foundation is planted, yeah, you got a small window, you know. So definitely make sure, you know, figure out your fandom. Swap your names out 2-3 times, or why you got like maybe you know, 5 people that's noticing you, whatever, or you know, 5 good followers, 10 followers, whatever. But once you get to the hundreds, and yeah, that's over. That's over. So
You can, but it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
there's-
It's hard.
you have to be super transparent too. Like
Yep.
everywhere has to know it, even if you don't feel like advertising. Like you have to tell everyone. You got to yell that at the top of the mountains. You know.
Yep. And even like little things too, like on Twitch, when you change your Twitch username, I'm going through this struggle currently. Thanks, Charlie. Your frequently used emotes. If you change your Twitch username, all the people who use your emotes all over the place and enjoy using those, and they won't work anymore, because if they tap it in their frequently used, it's going to show your old username at the front, and it's going to paste the words instead of the actual emote. So like there's lots of little micro repercussions to a rebrand that you might not realize, and so just being aware of that is helpful, I think.
Yeah, I would have never imagined about the email. Like that was never crossed my mind. I'll be honest with you.
If you ever see me put cringy text in a chat instead of an emote, it's because it was a frequently used of somebody I know who rebranded. That's literally all it is.
I thought you were just saying coming off a tipsy tarnished Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I was just drunk. Yeah, you know, let's segue off of that. Let's talk about, because I want to talk about Tipsy Tarnished Tuesday as a brand defining moment for myself. I'm gonna take the pedestal, because I think after you've like picked out your name, maybe your vibe and your colors, we'll talk about later. I think a lot of, if you're not sure about those things, right, you don't know exactly what you want everything to look like aesthetically from a brand perspective, or you don't know like terminology. One thing you could think about is, what kind of content do I want to make for what kind of audience? Because that can help define your brand too, right? Like if you really enjoy making content about music, then you go make that content, you go start interacting with people, you're gonna figure out your brand real fast.
Yep.
I started off my streaming career as a super duper chill streamer. I wanted chaotic chat because I had been in chaotic chats as a viewer and I loved chaotic chat, but I was nervous about my ability to manage a chaotic community, or a little bit more like outspoken community, or a community that goes crazy with redeems. I had watched Paz's streams. I enjoyed being a viewer on Paz's streams. I didn't want to be Paz.
Yeah, you can certainly say that after this afternoon, right?
How long did it take you to start the game? 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Hey, I only had the fun command like 4 times, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
Your Honor, she was being a silly goober.
There you go.
I'm innocent. So yeah, like I started off like really chill. I wanted to do like really heavy story-based series type streaming, where you know you come back and you watch basically a let's play of a very heavy story-based game. And Mcknux, that's when you found me at that point with the Playtale stuff.
Yep.
But it was when I started Elden Ring that I think my entire brand really took a hard pivot. Elden Ring was a game that I played as a joke. It was straight up like, I think I had like my birthday subathon or something, and I was like, hey, if we hit this goal, I'll play Elden Ring for 12 hours straight. I've never played it before, but I know it's really hard, and I'm not good at video games, so it's gonna be hilarious. I figured that was like a good like penultimate reward, because it's like total opposite vibe, everything I had been building to that point. And then that was like one of my most successful streams that I ever had, was just 12 hours of straight Elden Ring. Which of course,
Sheesh.
yeah, it was great, and it was crazy because I was like, nobody's gonna sit in this chat for 12 hours, but they did.
Yeah.
And they did, and it was my first, like, it was my second or third longer stream. I think it was one of the first ones I've done on my own channel. I had done like Slight. I'd done the Save It for Slight thing that we did, but other than that, I hadn't really done too much. But yeah, I mean, and of course, who's gonna be able to play Elden Ring for 12 hours straight and not have something to drink at some point, right? So thus Tipsy Tarnished Tuesday was born. And that continued on for like 4 or 5 months. I died over 700, almost 800 times. And every time I die, I take a sip of my drink and some streams were worse than others depending who I was fighting. And like, I don't know, I feel like I met a lot of people through that series because it was a popular game with a really committed community behind it. And it just kind of rolled from there. And now I feel like I'm definitely more chaotic vibes. Like people I've met in the last 6 months or last year, as opposed to people who have known me from the start, they describe me as, oh yeah, her streams are like a little bit of chaos. Like they're chaotic streams. And I'm like, y'all haven't even seen a past stream, but okay.
I mean,
yeah, like figuring out your audience can help with that too.
I
Like a ton.
remember your Tipsy Tarnish Tuesday started the whole bag out of context clips too.
Yeah, my community picked that up as well. They were so entertained with the little drunken ramblings that I would do towards the end of the streams after I had died so many times that we were having a really great time. That yeah, my community started clipping it and making edits of all of the clips of all the weird little things I said. So yeah, my brand is that I say things that are out of context, and I sometimes drink on stream, and I'm chaotic, but I'm still the bread lady, so you know, it all works out, right?
That's perfect.
Dude, sometimes it does take finding that like one thing that you know is gonna be entertaining, even if you're not good at it. I would always say to my coworkers, you don't have to be good at video games to make money playing video games on the internet. There are people that make plenty of money being very bad at video games on the internet. And not that it's about money, but like I'm just saying, like there's people who become popular just because they're bad at games. Like you don't gotta be good. You don't have to be good at it. I'm still not good at Elden Ring.
No, you're absolutely right, B, because one major factor is definitely entertainment, man. Entertainment is always going to be connected to your brand, for sure, you know, because it's going to be your main foundation, you know. It's going to be your main foundation. So the way you present yourself, you know, I can go to each and every one of y'all streams, and I know, you know, how it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I know how it's going to portray, how you're going to portray your streams. I know, man. And that's the way your brand's supposed to be, you know. You're supposed to portray it in that exact way. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Mafi streams just to chill, or I'm going to past streams just to troll
Just to bully him.
Yeah, basically, you know. Or BB streams just to joke with BB, you know. I mean, just to, you know, and just to see what kind of crazy stuff she's going to do. You know, that's the way your entertainment value, you know, is connected to each and every one of y'all, which is, again, it's great. A lot of people come to my streams just to, you know, they love to mess with me, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do, you know, and I allow that, you know. So it's what it is, you know. It's just the epic fails, the game overs and all that too. They want to see me lose, and that's the main thing. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to connect that to my brand and you know, make that happen. You know, I'm probably going to try not to lose, but again, you know, it's the way you portray yourself on your streams. The entertainment value is always connected to that easily.
I really love Mcknux, your What in the World Wednesdays.
Yep.
I have always loved that. From the moment that we met, I remember looking at your actual like Twitch schedule on Twitch and seeing that on there, and I was like, oh my god, what a great idea, where you just like dedicate a day to playing the wackiest, strangest, craziest games. Because I feel like the internet's a little bit of an unchanged place, and people love to watch craziness.
Uh-oh. I think we lost a Baguette.
No.
I'd say that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. That's
All right, well, I guess
It's all part of the act.
Yeah, we'll just keep the ball rolling until she gets back. But yeah, so like kind of like branching off of what you were saying, not directly, but like in regards to like your theming, like, so I broke it down into like, there's technically 4 categories, but for this particular section, like I have like I wrote down like, you know, your style, which is kind of what she was going on about, and then there's like your theme. So those are kind of like things like for example, I have an owl, fantasy, tavern, that sort of stuff for me, and then colors also plays into it. But in regards to the former, I think I said that right, style, like Yeah, I think it's important to understand what kind of style you want to go with. So like for example, if you are very energetic, going with like a high energy stream, being very interactive, constantly talking, or if you're more relaxed, chill, that's also like like understanding essentially what your theme is and then building upon that. Like I'm a pretty interactive, energetic guy. Like that if you've ever been to my stream, you would know. And then I built upon that via making it very, very interactive. Like all the redeems directly do something. I'm directly engaging with it. And some of it's just like, it's not even direct. It's just passive. Like, as I've said before, I have Endy. He reads off a chat, reacts to chat. Then I'm reacting off of what he's saying. Like, it's just nonstop. So, like, understanding what your kind of like style you want to go with definitely goes a long way into understanding what you want to build onto for content.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. And like I said, to piggyback off you, as far as what you, both of y'all stream, can also be incorporated as far as into your brand. Before Baguette actually, got disconnected. When she was talking about, how my schedule is like kind of lined up, and that's most important, because that's what your audience is going to lean on. Many people, when they come to my streams, they know that I'm a Sonic streamer, even though I stream Sonic on Saturdays. That's only a dedicated day that I'll stream Sonic. I'm not like a lot of these, dedicated Sonic streamers, like Fidel or MUME, but I will definitely dedicate a day because that's where my fandom lies. And then I'll have certain days that I'll just, mark up certain themes, like What Were Wednesday, What Were Wednesday's a day that a lot of people know they can come into Wednesday and see the cringiest games that I'll play because nobody else will play them, and so that's pretty much the content that you put out there also can be equivalent to your branding, and it's very, very important. It's very important as you keep going forward what content you put out, so keep that in mind, for those that are trying to get into content creation career. What you put out is going to be most important to you, and keep that pattern.
Yeah, I mean, what's it called? I guess I'll take the floor since I love this kind of like pattern kind of consistency thing where it's so I have a VODs channel. I'm shifting some things around because I changed some usernames around and stuff like that because I want to have a main channel and then a VODs channel, and with that it's kind of accumulated these things that I like to do, which are like series. So with a lot of the other three, I noticed that I think it's almost just kind of like a vibe as I kind of play this game kind of thing, while I definitely doubled down on kind of the whole backstory, like real quick, is I grew up on a lot of like people like Sugar Conroy who would do Let's Plays. Let's not discuss Sugar Conroy at the moment, but it was like stuff like that, like Let's Plays and walkthroughs kinds of things, and I wanted to do that like growing up. And then now I'm doing it through the form of like a walkthrough, and it's kind of poetic because it's like the reason I watched them is because I couldn't afford those games growing up. I'd get like a game a year if anything, and I'd be super grateful for that and double down on that game for the whole year. And now like I pick and choose the parts of my childhood that I want to reincorporate into the streaming sphere, and then sometimes I even kind of sit back and watch my own streams, and I kind of start to understand. I'm like, oh, like my chat is not as like like chaotic as the others. It can be from time to time, but I find that especially when I raid out, I'm like, wow, there's like 15 people here as we like just watch me play this game in silence. I'm like, I'm a TV show, and it took me a while to realize. I'm like, you know what? I'm down for that. That's great. So there's not one way to brand yourself. You don't have to be that chaotic,
right?
Like really over the top, like person. Like don't be someone you don't want to be. I mean, if we want to refer to the title of this podcast. I mean, authenticity, right? Like, similar to how when you're not doing so well, it's really obvious. It does start to get obvious when you're putting on like almost like a facade, like
Right.
24/7.
Right. You touched on a great point too, Mafi, because you was talking about how you were influenced by certain Let's Play YouTuber, and I feel like all of us have been influenced by our brands was influenced by somebody that we've looked up to. For me, my brand can kind of be wrapped around a couple people that I've followed before I started streaming. I followed for the longest, and I'm like, I want to be like these guys. Shout out to Dashi. I love watching Dashi. Dashi was my favorite YouTuber. Dashi, Corey Kenshin, and Markiplier. And I always watch those three faithfully, like religiously. Their Let's Plays, the way they present themselves, and I'm like, I want to be like these people. And again, when people come to my streams, it's like, okay, you know what? I gotta give that craziness to them, and naturally that's how I am in real life. I'm energetic, the extrovert that everybody gets tired of being around because it drains their social battery, for sure. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, it's the way that it's how I've been influenced by these few iconic content creators, man, that made me who I am, that made my brand to be big like this, and so yeah, you're right. Certain influencers will definitely put you in the right step, Mafi, for sure. Absolutely, 100%.
Honestly, like for me, like the one that influenced me the most, I don't know if either of you know, is Zentrea. Like it's weird because like I never thought like I would be doing like the whole thing that I'm doing right now, but like watching Zentrea, I was like, I like the direction of this. I don't want to copy it for one. I want to do my own thing, but like I like the direction of this. I like when chat's messing directly with the streamer, and they have those moments where just like they all smug, they're on top of the world, they have the highest ego, and then chat like knocks them down a peg. Like, yeah, that I like that, and I was just like that. Yep. I just wanted something like that for myself, and so I kind of emulated my own version of that, But I kind of lost my train of thought there. So in regards to I had it.
Tip of your tongue.
Yeah,
Pass, hi.
Oh, hey. We need to re-add you back to the thing because you're.
Yeah. I sent you a new link.
Oh, okay.
Mavi, your backyard has really, really bad electrical situations going on in it because I lost power for like a split second. If you could like fix that for me, that'd be great.
Absolutely not.
I need like 10 more extension cords.
Probably just got hit by a firework or something, Canadian holidays and that.
Crazy Canadians with your holiday. Yeah. I've been vibing here listening for a minute. I was waiting for a moment. Paz forgetting his topic was a great time to let him know that I exist again.
Are we getting that bag on screen?
There it is. It took it a solid second.
There we go.
I'm back in.
Well, I'm glad my brain fart was the greatest opportunity for you to reintroduce yourself. Welcome back.
It was. Thank you. Scuff can also be your brand to tie into the theme.
Yup.
There's a lot of streamers that Scuff is part of the brand. So welcome to mine. I was late for the podcast start. Had a cookie for dinner and didn't eat beforehand, and lost power mid-recording. So all very typical. If you're a Baguette Baby viewer, these things happen.
We get a chain of bag. Go eat dinner right now. Comments. Just so there's a permanent reminder in that comment section.
No,
Take care of yourself.
Cloud said that he was gonna cook dinner. Okay, I'm waiting.
Is Cloud sleeping? Anyway.
Probably.
Good.
So now I gotta remember where I was going to. In regards to style, like I mentioned earlier, I had 2 other points. Like well, technically 4. The 4th one is persona, like how you present yourself. But that I'm gonna save for a later part of the thing. But like the 2 that I kind of want to, back around to, being color and themes. Obviously style we just talked about, but like color and themes I find are very, very, very big portions of your brand. Like for me, which is a little bit of a contradiction, but like for my colors, I do 3 colors. It is brown, auburn, which is like a reddish brown, and then gold. Unfortunately, when I was designing this clothing, like I couldn't find a red brown auburn for the feathers, so I had to go with more of a bluish, but like, and then kind of incorporating like your colors into the rest of like other things you do to keep it consistent. Like when people see your colors, they go, ah, Paz, or ah, Baguette, or ah, like I see pink hair and I go, oh, that's Baguette. Like,
Yep, exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It has to be one major color. I feel like everybody, has to connect to one major color. Like, Baguette is, like I said, Baguette screams pink. You know what I mean? I scream red.
Can we have a moment about this?
Uh-huh.
I don't have pink hair. I do, but my hair is not exclusively pink.
Like a peach gradient. It's
a peach gradient. I'm gonna do a little. I'm very passionate about this. So you can see that from the back of my head. You see how the top is like this light peachy color, and then it becomes the pink? I specifically did that because I did not want to have bubblegum pink hair, because I love pink, and I do. It's my favorite color. But I was like, I don't want to have just like hot pink or bubblegum pink. And I thought that I had done such a good job picking such a unique hair color, and then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Baguette pink hair." And I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a consumer, as a one that watches, I'm like, Baguette pink, yeah, or Mafi, I'll do like a purple magenta kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Or Paz is like a royal, I'm trying to figure out a good royal.
That's interesting. I feel like with Paz, I don't associate a color, but definitely like a theme.
Yeah, I think for me, themes for me is more prevalent than colors. Like I try to keep my colors consistent, but like more people recognize me for the themes than the colors, which kind of leads.
I do think of red though, because you have red eyes. But I've also worked on your model from an artistic standpoint, so I'm very familiar with it.
Like if I were to swap, I don't know if I have one attached to VC face, but like if I would have swapped to my older suit.
Also, Paz, your feathers, I just want to tell you from a consumer standpoint, I see those feathers as the canonical color of Mr. Endy.
It is actually, which is kind of like, which kind of irks me because it goes against the tertiary color scheme that I went with, and it's just like, yeah, all right, so this is his feather colors, and then I'm making the outfit, I'm like, but that goes against the color screen, like, so like it conflicts, so, but it.
So
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say it is what it
color.
is. Yeah.
So when I first started streaming, again, I didn't want to just have normal pink hair. I had very muted peachy hair when I first got started my 1.0 model. And she looked great. I loved the color like peachy pink. And so my original overlays and all of my branding was around this peachy pink tone, which is probably why Mcknux is like, Baguette pink, because you came in and that's what you saw was my pink everywhere. And unfortunately, when I redid my model and I got this hair color, it was too monochrome. Like I put her in my overlay, like I took a screenshot of her and I put her in my overlay and I went, oh no, you can't see her anymore. So I actually had to completely change my overlay design to be more, it was more purple at the time because it contrasted really nicely with the orange peachy tones in the hair, which I'll say this, from a branding perspective, go learn about color theory. It will help you so much if you are trying to make art, or you are trying to make your own overlays, or you are trying to, if you're a VTuber, like pick an outfit color. Like I'm not wearing blue for no reason. I'm wearing blue because it contrasts with my hair so well and it brings my eyes back into focus and it makes my hair be my brand, which is what I wanted. So like, I'm just saying, like, learning color theory will help you if you are looking at like the art aspect of your overlays.
You're right. It helps a lot. I will tell you right now, when I first found you, BB, well, one, thank God you was using Twitch tags. That's one. I know y'all probably gonna talk about another episode.
Yeah.
But when I was scrolling through the hundreds of people that had that same Twitch tag, what my eye drew to your color, and I was like, check, we're going to her, because that color popped out. I was like, again, that was your early version, but that color popped out. I was like, oh, I like this. You know what? It's a warm feeling. I my chat's gonna love it for sure. So yeah, color is very important. The color palette is very important
because you're gonna be a thumbnail. No matter
Yes.
what platform you're on, you are a thumbnail somewhere. Whether it's a profile picture on Twitter, whether it's a thumbnail on YouTube, whether it's a thumbnail on Twitch. So like picking things that stand out is awesome, and color is great for that.
Yep.
It's
Another thing is symbols and like things that like set you apart. Like I see Mcknux's hat,
Yes.
and I'm like, that's my guy. Like I see an owl, I think of Paz.
Yeah. And
I
that is
definitely think of Mafia. Every galaxy pattern I see too.
That's what I'm saying. Like Mafia, I'm gonna equivalent, I'm gonna equate that to space. What I'm saying? Like if I'm looking at stars, like Mafia, easy, but it's you're right though. And I can't tell you how many times that I've been rated by somebody new, right? Because they say, yo, your hat is amazing. I just had to raid you, man, because your hat is amazing. I don't know. I can't tell you. I lost count of how many new people that I've rated because of my hat. And this is what I was just telling that to Paz. It goes by people that you're influenced by as well too. And I got to ask you the same thing too, BB. Who were you influenced, or who was your major influencer?
Yeah.
Because when I go back to a person that got me started to streaming, one was definitely a YouTuber named Dashy. For those that follow Dashy always wears a beanie. Like a gray hat and like red headphones. If you ever look on his YouTube page and it's so chaotic, you'll love it. But that's his usual trademark. It's a gray beanie and red headphones, and he never takes that off. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have something just like that I will never take my hat off. You will never know unless you really follow me closely, like on social media and stuff like that. Like I'll have some pictures that I'll have my hat off. Anyway, but for those that are new, I will never take my hat off. You will never know what I look like underneath the hat. You'll never know if I'm bald or if I have braids or dreads. Who knows? What I'm saying? That's to your imagination. I will never tell you, but the hat is what's going to draw you. What I'm saying? And that's what it is.
His hat.
So the streamer that I was really first inspired by was Peachy Saiyan and then Murph, and I'm gonna talk about both of them because they both I think have great examples of exactly what we're talking about. So Peachy, her very first set of merch that I ever purchased is just her eyes with eyeliner. Now she is not a VTuber. She doesn't have like unique irises or anything like that, because there are some VTubers that have that. She's a face cam streamer. So her eyeliner was like her trademark for a little while. Like she has these amazing wings, and they're just so perfect and good. Like to me, when I think of her, I think of Peaches, I think of her eyeliner and her eye makeup, and it's branched out over the years as her brand has developed. But she was the very first Twitch streamer I ever watched, and I loved the way she like ran her streams. I loved how professional everything looked. I loved how she was so at ease with her chat and like talking to them and like silly little redeems and stuff. And then I met Murphy Plays, and oh my gosh, talk about a beautiful model, like a beautiful eye-catching VTuber model. I was scrolling through Disney Dreamlight Valley category on Twitch, which is how I found Murph, because I was playing the game and it had just come out. And I was scrolling through, and her model just stuck out from her background so wonderfully, and she had such defined features and pretty colors, and her outfit was so cute. And I was like, oh my God, look at this adorable little space buns girl right here. Like, I'm gonna see what she's about. And so that's when I clicked in, and I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I emulated Murph a lot when I got started, because that's who I was so inspired by. Like, I loved all her little facial expressions. You'll hear me go, that's a Murphy. That's a Murphy thing. People who are new in my community think it's a me thing. No, Mama Murph. That's Mama Murph all the way. She's just my birthday twin, so like twinsies. But like, yeah, that again, like she was a really attractive thumbnail in a sea of Disney Dreamlight Valley streamers, and her, I think she was even making like a funny face. She was like in the thumbnail because it had captured it right, just the right moment, right?
Right.
Like, honestly, super big inspirations. Paz, I'm gonna out you too because all of my chaotic redeems are 100% inspired by your stream. Cloud watched your streams before I did, and I would be sitting in our basement listening, just hearing your stream go, and Cloud like busting out full laughing, and I was like, that's the kind of joy I want to inspire. What the heck is this man doing? And so I would pull up your streams too, and there were lots of nights in the early days where Cloud and I were sitting in the same room just watching the Paz stream separately, communicating through your chat. And so like, yeah, that's those are my like my big inspirations in terms of like what's shaped my content, I would say. And I think you could find pieces of all of those people in my content. I really do, if you looked.
All I'm gonna say, just redeem Baggy Waggy and you'll find the pass.
No,
Perfect.
that's enough paths for everyone all the time. Should we talk about Baggy Waggy or like deviation from your brand? I would say like
Yeah, that would actually
strategic brand deviation.
That would. So we kind of already talked about like I classified like there's, so you have evolving and adapting. Evolving is like when you change your brand, and that's like when you're early on and you still don't know what you're doing. You're evolving your brand, you're updating it, you know, changing things around, moving around, make sure what fits. Adapting is where you take like your brand and you adapt it to like a theme or a concept. It's like when a VTuber model puts on a specific clothing that fits the game that they're playing. It's not like you're rebranding or anything. You're just adapting your brand to that kind of scene. And like Baggy Waggy is a great example of that.
Sometimes it feels like an evolution. I'm not gonna lie. People like, I've got so much content saved in drafts places of me just pouting about how often that model gets redeemed. But that's part of the brand too, right? Is people would not redeem that model nearly as much if they didn't know that I hated being in that flesh prison, okay? I'm just saying, like, chat loves to bully.
Yes, they do.
I feel like at some point we've all done some kind of strategic deviation from our own brand, right, for content's sake, which can be fun for your chat, it can be exciting for you. It can also be an opportunity to test out new things. Like Mcknux, like you deviate from the Sonic brand pretty often, right? Like your branding is very Sonic themed, but you don't always do Sonic things, right? That's not on purpose, right? Like that's a purposeful choice. Mafi, I remember you were playing some game and you changed your model to be like a sketch version of you.
Amori. Yes.
Yeah,
So
and
there's
I remember.
Actually, go on.
I remember so many people commenting on how cool that was. Like, there was a lot of engagement when you did that because it was cool. So now you talk about why you did it.
Yeah, I mean, what's it called? With Amori, it was literally just as I was kind of contemplating playing the game that I believe they were Chinese. They worked on a live 2D model, which is like everything live 2D in general fascinates me because I don't have that much patience. But like with that specific model, what was cool about it is it was made to be customized. So each customization was like a different. I think it was programmed as set as an expression, like a facial expression, but it would change up the hair, it would change up the shade of the hair, I guess, because it was like monochromatic, right? And you just kind of were able to kind of lots of kind ofs able to form it like the model in a way that best represents you. It was especially a really good model for Amori fans that were trying to get into VTubing. I think nowadays I think this is the case where like you can also find booth stuff where you can get model bases that like can be adjusted And as long as you're not like being like, yeah, I drew that from scratch, like you can basically use it under like fair use under the person that made it. But yeah, with that specific instance with Amori, I thought it like fit really well just because in the context of the game, you'll understand where the characters and the art style, it kind of just works, where like it just matches. You kind of look like what's his name? Sunny. You look like Sunny themselves, and it's as if you're playing as Sunny.
Yeah, and like little deviations like that, you didn't break your whole brand. Like nobody forgot who you were, but for a while you were a little different, and it drove engagement and immersion with the content you were making. And like that can be, it's like you got to learn the rules so you can then turn right around and break them, right? Learn all these how to have your brand, and then you just turn around and break them.
I do think you do that at the beginning of your like kind of new cycle, like we were talking like evolutions and things like that. If I did that soon after I like had a re-debut, I think that would get a little confusing.
Yes,
so
yes.
do time that like when you are like messing with that kind of thing, just because not that it's as dramatic, I think, as like changing your username and not announcing it, but you know, like I kind of like having like little sneak peeks of things that I'm working on, whether they're like thumbnails for the VODs of games I plan on playing, just so people are like aware of what's up.
Yeah. And then, of course, Paz has a very specific brand, right? He's got his colors, his whole tavern aesthetic. But he also has a couple other models that are beloved by his community. The very much departures from that brand. Paz.
Which ones you want to mention, huh?
Well, you've got your princess version of yourself, and then of course your dragon princess, and there's a kitsune Paz that has my hair and my eyes. Well, don't know where that came from. And then of course there's your true self, Colonel Paz.
Oh my God, we're my little cousin. Only recognize you as KFC guy, man. I swear.
I'm telling you though, Paz, we're gonna get you noticed by KFC. It's gonna happen.
Hold on, like, for those who don't know, here's the Colonel Paz.
There it is.
Paz, I was telling BB. Me and BB was in the DMs. It was like, yo, why? I was like, yo, go on Twitter and just hit KFC as many times as y'all can and say like, let's endorse Paz, please, like something, because that's perfect. That is perfect.
Get
like
the
seriously.
Spanish one on. That Spanish KFC page is a shitpost page.
Alright, we'll get it
they are
done.
not giving fried chicken vibes. That's a meme account.
Oh man, we'll have to do it. I gotta tweet the Shake It Off commercial that I made.
Oh, that was
we're doing
beautiful.
backflip.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can talk about deviations real quick, because all of y'all, every single one of y'all in this panel right now has influenced one of my deviations, and it was to actually bring out Mcknux, man. Was my first.
I love Mcknux.
Freaking red cat.
Oh.
And I kept the red, because of course of the color, like we was talking about. But Mcknux, my first V2 model, man, being an actual cat. Everybody wanted a cat more than I did. I'm like, dude, what the heck, man? You know.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? And that's, of course, that is mainly influenced by y'all, for sure, So, congrats GTT for actually bringing out the cat. But yeah, so that is definitely, and I only bring that cat out, when I'm playing cat games, which, I mean, there's a cat game out that's popular now, which I'm going to bring the cat out. But yeah, it's, thank you so much, man, for, giving birth to the cats,
So here's the real question, though. You've seen that I made something for our good friend OMG Plays a Game.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Do you want one? I'll make you one.
Run now while you have the chance.
No,
One of us.
Oh my God. I you know what? Your work is amazing, Bag. I miss you.
He's gonna let me down real easy right now. Oh man.
No, not yet.
Oh yeah.
Yet.
Oh, yet. No, not live.
Not yet.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Like, he's like, being a cat's enough for me. I can't
Yeah,
handle it.
right. The cat's like trying to get his own, his own clothing line right now, man. I'm gonna let the cat marinate for a bit. You know what I mean? So.
Oh man.
Oh, good lord.
Well, if you
man.
ever are ready to deviate from your brand even further, just let me know. I got you.
Absolutely. Listen, and that's what we're going to the brand too. Like my storyline for Mcknux is, I'm imagining Mcknux as your household cat. Like everybody, I feel like everybody's like, in a streamer house, like, BBU, Mafi, Paz,
yeah.
Charlie, Blair, y'all in a one huge streamer house, right? As a huge crew. And I'm just your pet cat. I'm just that one cat that is just there, just taking up attention. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That is my storyline behind Mcknux, man. It's just I'm just y'all pet cat. That's it. That is
the cat in the VTuber house.
There you go. Exactly.
That's incredible.
It. Oh man. Like, yep, this cat is owned by BB, Mafi, Paz, everybody. There you go. Blair, Charles, everybody. There you go. I don't get fed because y'all neglect me. So there.
No. Hey, I don't take this slander. You're getting wet food
see?
and nice supplements to keep your joints healthy into old age. Dude.
Nah, see, I get tortured, man. I'm looking at Mafi's shaky cats emote, man. That's me. There you go.
No, that's Sim. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
When are we gotta make Mcknux a shaky cat emote in the colors of Mcknux.
Oh
though.
my
I
god.
feel like we really need to make that happen.
A red one.
Yeah, like a red and black one. Yeah. We need to.
That'd be golden. That'd be sweet.
I think it would
That'd
have to
be
be
sick.
animated, because if you just do a simple recolor, I don't think that would work, because then it would look like a bloody cat. I don't think that really would. I don't think
But
that.
it'd be funny.
Push like, yeah, we're not gonna allow this. Yeah, we're going to have to suspend you for a little bit. Yeah.
You gonna tell me
man.
Sim's cat looks normal? Isn't it just
It's
a yellow
orange.
one?
It's
Or
bright orange. Yeah, it's bright. Yeah, I'll post it in our little side chat in case that you're wondering. But yeah, it's a bright orange cat, and I think Mafi, true confession, I think it's just a recolored version of yours.
Yeah.
It's in the little
Ah,
chat.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's like a golden statue of a cat, dude. Like some Buddhist cat. Like a Buddhist cat.
But he's an orange cat, so we had to make it orange. See, it's on brand,
Got
Gotta
you.
keep
Okay.
the brand. Gotta keep the
Got
brand.
you. Perfect.
Absolutely. Man, I feel so out of it since I disconnected because of Mafi's backyard's bad electricity, bad
Look, what if
wiring.
the fireworks hit the power lines? They can't control that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. Could have tried a little harder.
Next time they'll aim for the transformer.
Nice.
Oh
Shoot.
god.
There you go.
Oh man.
So, in regards to, having not really deviations, adaptations. Oh my god, English is hard. Oh, that's part of my brand right there. Anyways, so consistency kind of goes hand in hand with it. And like, so obviously early on, consistency is not something you should take too seriously. Yeah, you should ultimately take seriously, but like early on, you still need to figure out things, kind of formulate more of a solid form in your mind of what you want for your brand. But like, until you get to that point, like consistency should take a backseat. But once you have it, I feel like it's one of the bigger things you need to keep in order for you to grow as a not just like a streamer, but like just a content creator. And it can evolve. You could have additions onto your brand that kind of like change things to keep it like not stagnant, but like you still need to like, if I stop doing very interactive streams like tomorrow, I feel like a lot of my audience, I'd probably at least lose half of them, if not more, because like that's the reason why they're watching. That's part of the keeping it consistent,
Right.
Unfortunately, like when you want to evolve your content and like put extra stuff onto it that like provide additional content for the content you're already providing, there's no magic bullet answer, because I do feel like those statements do contradict each other. evolving your content, but also keeping it consistent. I wish there was like a, hey, this is how you do it. This is the formula, but like, I think it's just like more of a, you kind of watch it and play it by ear, you know? Unless any of you have like a better... Go ahead.
When I think about, like, because I've done a couple of things that are very different, right? So I talked earlier about how Elden Ring was like a really big defining part of my brand for a long time. I haven't played it in a while, but one really successful switch up that I did recently that I could talk about in this example is I started playing an old Nintendo DS game, Style Savvy Trendsetters, on stream, like on Saturdays. And I was really, really nervous because I was like, this is totally different. There is no difficult gameplay. It is basically a just chatting stream. It's a fashion game. I have a lot of male audience. I don't know how successful it's gonna be. I was really nervous, but it was a game that I was really passionate about. And there were things that, like, when I would play the game off stream, I would find myself talking out loud and wishing that there was somebody sitting there to listen and talk to me about it. And like, that was when I realized, like, I just have to do this. And then when I think back about it and what made those streams successful, it wasn't the gameplay. It wasn't my fantastic sense of style that I absolutely have. It was because my brand isn't really Elden Ring or being bad at video games. My brand is, I'm having fun, so you're having fun too. And that's more what my center of my brand is. And so it kind of opened my eyes to realize, like, really any game that I find fun to the point that I, when I'm playing by myself, feel the need to share with somebody, like, that's a game I want to play on stream. And that's my new litmus test for, like, whether or not something is going to quote unquote meet my brand. So, like, boiling your brand down to its basest roots can be really helpful as well. Like, yeah, and I'm not gonna keep going on a tangent about it, but like, that's my thought.
and you know what, I definitely want to piggyback off of what you was talking about too, because that's me. When a lot of people never thought that I was I'm a Miku-holic, you know, when they see me, it was like, Nux, you like Vocaloids? Absolutely, I'm in love with Vocaloids. Vocaloids is my fandom. If it wasn't for, you know, the Sonic series, the Sonic fandom, dude, I would be all over Vocaloids right now. Like, seriously, that's where my fandom lies as well too, you know. And playing a bunch of Hatsune Miku Project Divas, you know, throughout the years, that was my bread and butter right there, you know. That's because that's what I want to play. They're like, oh, you know what, I would never think that you would be a you know, Miku you know, gamer and all that. Well, yeah, I love it. It's my passion, you know. So yeah, you're right, BB. It's where your passion lies at too, you know. That's also included. And your chat can tell that if you're passionate about certain brands that they never would have assumed, you know, that you would be into, you know. So it's easy.
Yeah. And like, the great thing about boiling your brand down is that you'll find there's a lot of like underlying brands. So like, if a lot of like cozier streamers, it's like, if I'm having a relaxing, enjoyable time, you're having a relaxing, enjoyable time. And it's sort of like, you become a mirror for your audience, but you just kind of put out what you want to receive back. And so, but boiling it down to that level of simplicity will help open up doors and also help you judge what content fits in your brand or doesn't.
Right.
I guess
Go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was gonna move on to the next another subject if we.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just didn't want to. Oh, jeez.
I want to hear Mafi's thoughts.
What? I caught myself in that podcast mode because, again, I commute a lot. I love listening to just people talk.
Yeah.
But I forget to join the conversation myself sometimes.
That's fair.
But I guess very similarly, like I think it feels almost like repeating myself from like the previous pod where like there's just that feeling of, oh my god, I'm blanking out. What? Talking about games, games we play. Yes. I feel like I was known for a while as a Pokemon streamer for a while, and then like even like Nintendo stuff, and then as I've kind of gone into Steam, especially with like things that are not traditionally Nintendo and like not at all, it's really it's really fascinating that in general that I've found someone will get me into that game, and then through my streams I get like other people into the same game. Like another example of it, because I mentioned like Danganronpa with Paz, for example. He didn't play the game, but he watched like a whole theory video on it. Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like my friend Wada, she's just like, yeah, I started playing Sun and Moon, and that's because I got her boyfriend into playing. So it's like this huge chain reaction of you eventually actually develop, like if you're really enjoying a game, you can actually trigger your whole community into just enjoying the stuff that you're into. So
And
I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of power there too. Like, because there are two ways to go about it at the end of the day, I feel like. You can make your brand be about a certain game or about a certain activity, right? Like, I'm sorry, when I think of Ninja, I think of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like, you are good at Fortnite, you are a pro at Fortnite, that is your brand is Fortnite and being good at it. And that is one way that you can go. If you are really good at a game and you want to stream it, that's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
But then the other direction is, it doesn't necessarily matter what I'm playing, because we're here for the streamer themselves, like their specific reactions or skill sets, or that like interacting with the redeems or different things to do. Like, I'm sorry, Paz, but I can't name 10 games that I've watched you play in the last 2 years because I go to Paz games
How
for the
about
games
that?
Paz plays all the time. Like, I know you've played Pokemon, I know you've played Fallout.
Well, there's a
I
specific
played
reason why I
Minecraft.
know I played Pokemon.
Listen, we're not gonna talk about nipple clamps here, okay? We can't do that. This is YouTube, might be a little bit too much for the TOS and the advertiser friendliness, okay? We'll talk about that somewhere else. But like, that's the other way to go about it too, is like, you can center your brand around a game or a franchise or something like that, but you can also just center your brand right around yourself. Like, and don't be afraid to do it. Don't be like, oh no, that feels like egotistical. Like, do it, just do it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I have had
Like-
a few friends that came to me and like, hey, I want to get into this. You know, what would you recommend? How should I go about it? And I've always broken it down at like there's a lot of nuance. Let's be real now. But like, when I'm just like, I'm confronting them like, hey, here's the way you go about it. Like, there's two categories, and it could be broken down to further niches beyond that. But like, you have like skill, and I like to equate it like you're watching a sports. Like, people like to watch people who are good at games. Like,
Yep.
and I would equivalent to like you that's watching like football per se, or you could be going into it and watching it. Let's say, for example, Leave It to Beaver. It's a TV show. You're watching it, and Leave It to Beaver, or actually any TV show really, is it's like they're not playing the same sport over and over and over in that. Like, they're doing, each episode is a completely different thing that happens in that episode, and like, it depends. Like, do you want to be good at a game? And each one has like their own pros and cons to the different kind of like brand that they're building. For example, if you're really good at a video game, because like I had a friend that's really good at Tarkov. Like, if they were to swap into a different game, and they've done it before, they played a different game, the audience drops down to like 10% of what they usually have, because they're not there to watch that one game, versus like if you're there to like promote your brand as like you being part of the mainstay brand, you're the let's say, for example, Leave It to Beaver, you are the Beaver. People are going to be there to watch you and what you're doing, rather than like, oh yeah, I want to see how amazing they are at this game.
And there isn't a wrong one to pick, I think. You can absolutely build a brand on a specific game and still play other games, but understanding the foundation of your brand is absolutely pivotal in those moments, right?
Right.
If my foundation of my brand is that I am one of the best Overwatch players like ever, right? And I want to swap over and learn how to play freaking, what's the other one? Counter-Strike. Those are different games, right? I have to make sure that I market that change as, how good is the best Overwatch player naturally going to be at Counter-Strike? And like, building that interest with your audience, and not just doing an immediate swap over. You have to be aware of it.
I think like to kind of use him as a showcase, Asmongold's a good example for this, because like, he was known as the World of Warcraft streamer. In a sense, he still is, but like,
Right.
he doesn't do World of Warcraft anymore, or at least not in the normal sense. Like, he'll talk about it, but like he's not like that. You don't go to a stream to watch him do World of Warcraft. And like when he made those changes, like he was adamant. Like he let everybody know, like, here's what's going on, here's the reason why, this is what we're doing, and this is what we're gonna do going forward. Like, and I think that's perfectly fine. Like, and I know there are other people who've done similar things. I just like using him because like everybody knows who Asmongold is. Like it's like a household name at this point.
On the flip side, if you're somebody who is centering their brand around themselves more than the game they're playing, you have to be aware that the game can't carry you in your content. It's not going to be the same, right? So there may be a game that you really love to play off stream, and you think it's a beautiful game, it's something you want to share with your community, but then you get on stream and you're just vibing or just not talking, but you're normally a talkative streamer, right? Or you're normally a chaotic streamer. Being aware of the persona that you have out there and the interactions that are considered the norm and what bring your audience in is also important. Because like, I love Power Wash Simulator. I would never play it by itself on stream. I could never do that because I don't talk.
Yeah,
Oh
When
my
I play that
God,
game,
yeah.
I don't speak, and that's
Yeah.
not what people come to my content for.
You're right.
So, like, it can be a great game, but ooh, you gotta be aware. You just gotta be super aware.
For
like-
similar vein to me, like I have to avoid any game that has a lot of dialogue that I have to manually read because there's so much going on. I'm paying attention to what I'm reading or I'm paying attention to what chat's doing. I can't do both.
Yep.
That's true. That's true.
That's so
Mafi.
funny because like I do the opposite. But what I found is what is it? There's stream games for you, and then there's games you play offline.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
And you do have to like work that out. Like I may or may not have like 8,000 hours on Football Manager, like combined like 3 games, and like you hardly like I've tried like streaming it like every once in a while because people were just like, why the hell do you play this game so much? Like, how have you not streamed this? And I'm like, well, like Bag said with Power Wash Simulator, I just kind of do my own, like, I'm sure like The Sims would even be a good example for that as well, where because you spend so much time probably designing the character, not playing the game. Now that I've exposed all of the Sims community, I'm sorry, but yeah, like differentiating the difference between a game, like for me, like the flip side of what Paz said, a game that for me like I constantly like have to voice act over or like, you know, narrate kind of thing. I actually like took that to the next level and had like guests, you know, like to help kind of split the voices, which is really fun. And like that's a great way to also kind of get yourself out there as like, oh, you have a tendency to, you know, play those kinds of games, but it goes both ways. It's what you double down on, right?
I remember when I was first getting started, I was trying to pick my first game to play when I was debuting, and Mafi was like, choose something that has an option to read the dialogue, because then worst case scenario, if you have nothing else to think of to say, you can read the game dialogue.
Yep.
And that got me through like my first 6 months of streaming, where I was like, thank God that there was game dialogue for something for me to be doing here, because otherwise I would have just been sitting watching cutscenes, like
Right.
which is great, but like I think people can only like be interested in me going, oh, huh? No? Like so much, right?
And it's beautiful because I think like, because yeah, like your first 6 months was that, but then you transitioned into like stuff like Elden Ring, where I'm sure there is some dialogue options and things like that, but most of the time you just you're probably not reading them. You're just complaining about how the game sucks and how it's never your fault.
I'm just getting drunker and drunker and thrown around and yeeted and put in different clothes and turned into a pink fluffy monster. And
look, I just want to say I don't know how you struggled against Radon. He was easy.
I'm gonna kill you.
I got him on my first try, and I was not even on my mount. And I didn't have to use my flat. Like he was a cakewalk.
And you were playing tilt controls, you know, like one-handed. Yeah, pass.
Okay, Paz, we get it. You're a streamer who's good at gaming.
Oh, whoa. I'm gonna say that is factually incorrect. If anybody here who's professional gamer, that's Mcknux. I still remember, what was it? Not Rumble Party. Was that one party game that's kind of like Mario Party?
Pummel Party?
Is it Pummel Party?
Pummel Party,
Pummel Party.
God, Mcknux.
And Among Us. I can never play Among Us with Mcknux because he is too good.
Yes.
Listen, okay. Listen, and that's where you get, man, this is where you get the loud version of me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're going to get the most satanic, you know, I'm going to gaslight you, man. I hate being that guy, man, but that's I'm going to gaslight the crap out of you.
I think that's what makes it so, I think what makes you so effective at it is because, like, when I think of Mcknux, like, I think of one of the most stand-up guys I ever met, right? Like, raids streamers to help push them to their affiliate and partner goals, like, keeps it pretty family-friendly on the stream, like, really nice guy. And then you get into Among Us and he's, like, still nice, but something's wrong. And you can't tell what's going on. And then, oh, you're dead. Like...
Listen, that's the blessing of all of us being variety streamers. You know what I'm saying? Like, each game will bring out a different, you know, feature of us, you know, and it's amazing. Again, like I said, I could pinpoint like, you know, Mafi could be just a Pokemon streamer. It could be Mafidella, the Pokemon streamer, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, BB, you could just be straight up just a storyline streamer, you know what I mean? That's it. You play nothing else but storyline games. But variety streaming for us, and I'm glad we all picked variety streaming, like I said, it gives us a chance to kind of, you know, spread our wings, expand our horizons as far as, you know, how certain games affect us and you know, bring out the best of us as content creators. And it's amazing because, again, I could be, if I had to put my passion in one thing, I play, you know, Madden NFL in an esports level, you know. And I do that for, you know, I do that for years, you know, since '99. And, you know, I could have been Mcknux, the Madden streamer and all that too, but would that carry me? It could probably, you know, possibly, you know what I'm saying? I would be targeting just one audience, you know, but variety streaming, you know, now you get, you know, since that's attached to the brand, now you get to pinpoint different, you know, communities, different demographic communities and all that, depending on what game you're playing, you know, and that's why we are variety streamers, you know what I'm saying? We want to kind of, you know, expand that bubble, you know, instead of being condensed. Nothing wrong with, like I said, being Mafi the Pokemon streamer or, you know, what have you. But variety streaming is that kind of that gateway, man, to like a never-ending story, man. I just watched that movie anyway. I don't know why I brought that out, but
great movie.
That's a great movie. But so yeah, there you go. That's why we are variety streamers. You know what I'm saying? Variety streaming is a brand. It's a brand. It connects with us. So there you go.
I have a question. Oh wait, no, go ahead, Pass.
No, go ahead, because I was gonna move on to like something that's a tangent to what he was saying. So if it's a question, I'd say go ask.
Yeah, I was gonna. It was kind of a deviating question though to take us down a different path.
Right, let's go that way. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say like, what I was gonna ask a question. So obviously your brand can be ever changing, ever evolving. What's something that all of you are working on right now in relation to your brand, or something you've done recently to enhance or standardize your brand? Like, what's something that you can share with the listeners to kind of give like them an idea that, hey, even 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long we've been doing this grind, what's something that we're still working on? Because it can feel like there should be an end point, but there really isn't, right? There's no end point when it comes to your brand.
True.
So, I'll kick it off and say that this year I decided that my bakery and my world is the Blue Rose Bakery, and I have been trying to very slowly incorporate blue roses into my graphics and changing things over and fixing up my overlays and trying to get more consistent things like that, kind of factored into the different aspects of my stream. Seems like a really small thing, but I think it's actually been really great in terms of inspiring me to do new art, or when I'm getting commissions done, if I need something that like makes it me other than just pink hair and glasses and a beret. It's like that extra symbol for me that I've been looking for to really draw things back to the Baguette Baby brand.
I like
That's
it.
fair.
I guess I've had quite a dramatic a change recently. I don't think anybody on Level Up Live that or is watching or listening, you'll see this model in front of you, well, in PNG form. I'm trying to work on a webcam so you can see me live and move just like Baguette and Paz. But the big thing was, I think at some point I actually got really frustrated and kind of confided in Egan and went, man, I feel like, and I feel like this is an okay thing to feel, is sometimes you kind of just look at the stuff you have at that moment in time, and one thing I noticed was I liked my model like that I had before, but when you're in this kind of industry, and I noticed it with Mcknux's comment on Baguette's model, is when you're rating out, a lot of the people, unfortunately or fortunately, kind of judge by the book cover kind of thing. You get like attracted to, they look really cool or pretty or whatever. And I was kind of like, with my model, I'm like, it's like a little bit of everything, but it hasn't kind of gone down a direction. And I also saw that my Space Queen branding wasn't very queen-like at all. But that was more so like because lore just came after the character, because, fun fact, like, it's horrible. Thank you, Wicker, for withstanding all that. But I remember telling Wicker, I'm like, I want a unique model, and then did not freaking specify. I just wanted something different. But what happens is you kind of get in the subliminal space of you don't really know, like, or they didn't even know like what direction to even take it in. And now that I've kind of doubled down on a more galaxy theme, we've got the Gouda Galaxy, formerly full of Gooters, but we also like to call them Oompies, which is great. But yeah, like, and what is that? Did I just celebrate like 3 years on Twitch?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm just like, that's so okay. I forget if it was Iron Mouse or if it was like just, I've seen some big VTubers like recently completely or subtly like re-debut and start to evolve their models, and it's not too late to do that. But make sure that like take that time and take it words difficult. Take advantage of the fact that you're re-debuting and then market it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's like your next stage, like your V1, V2, V3, like wherever you're at. Murph does it all the time. Like, I mean,
good.
I think less so now. I feel like she's like calmed it down a bit. But there was a point where it's like, oh, there's a V5. I'm like, V3 was a couple months ago, girl.
Yeah.
I want to show off my little inner nerd per se, but like what you're saying is exactly what WWE does, like for the wrestlers. Like it's always the same wrestler. Like if you look at, for example, Undertaker, like it's always been Undertaker, but like there's different versions of Undertaker throughout the years. Like he's gone through, and it's weird because like when you think about it, like he's not a streamer, but like in a way he's also like, you can consider that he's a content creator, but like similar, like
a performer.
Yeah, performer, perfect. Like,
True. Yep.
he's not really upgrading, but like evolving. You know, his brand as a wrestler, and we're in the same vein, no different.
Mafi, talking about your rebrand, I want to make some observations that I think are maybe valuable for the listeners here. Your previous model was incredibly unique. I have never seen a 3D VTuber with hair like that. The irises were so intricate and detailed, and I'm not saying it's somebody who has spent hours staring at your face spread out on a canvas in VRoid Studio. But like your model had so much subtlety and nuance that was just amazing. your new model has the same level of nuance, but you also have simplified a lot of things, which I think that in branding, one thing that you can do when it comes to visual branding that is really hard to get away with is putting too much into something can also
Absolutely.
hinder you. It's fantastic once you have viewership, or once you have, like, if you're getting art commissioned and things that are distinctly you and like are identifiable, that has to be balanced with being simple enough to being recognizable at a glance. And I think that that's a really, really hard balance to strike, especially from an artistic standpoint, because it's super easy to like delve down deep into your own lore and be like, yeah, my eyes look this way because when I was this way, the universe exploded and a fragment of it is captured in the pupil of my, and like your irises can look beautiful and your design can be intricate. But again, you're a thumbnail. You're a thumbnail somewhere. And that's how people have to get to know you. And they're not going to if there's not something recognizable and defining that they can see at a glance as well. And so that's where I think your rebrand is so successful. It captures all the same nuance. It keeps enough continuity from the last iteration that it's still very much you. But those simplifications and those enhancements, I think, are going to go a long way to getting you that recognizability. So
Funnily
that's
enough,
my little soapbox for you.
yeah,
that's
I mean,
that's facts.
you touch base on a point that I didn't even say, but it was like, yeah, part of it was also my old model was difficult to draw, and like it's such a weird thing to have to rebrand over. But I was like, but I want fan art, but I like it's like, or when I got fan art, I was like, it's fine. You don't have to be that complex, and I'm like, I can't do that forever. So yeah.
Fair. That's actually a good point too. Yeah.
Just to rewind the clock a little bit, just make sure all the questions were answered. I'll answer mine
Yeah.
that
Yes,
Beck
yes.
asked earlier. For me, recently we just started like the lore section of my community, and it's not like lore for my brand per se, but like it's just like more of just a generic fantasy lore that we're building upon, and then I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put that in YouTube format and make YouTube series like going over the lore, and just like to give it like an overview, like it's steampunk, like fantasy world, eldritch, like, and we're just gonna take like, for example, one lore bit of the video will be like, oh yeah, we're talking about like this nation, and then the next will be like, all right, this is how magic works, you know, and it's just lore breakdowns. And I think we're like turning that into YouTube format it just works. It's just perfect. Like I can't begin to count how many countless YouTube videos like going over just random D&D lore that I've listened to over the ages, and essentially it's my turn to kind of contribute to that in my own sense.
Right.
And I think that, Paz, what's interesting from an outside perspective too on that enterprise for you is your original brand concept was being a storyteller. And you are now returning to those roots a little bit. You have established a community that is interested in your storytelling abilities, and you're using that to launch another social media campaign to drive additional people to your other platforms. And like that is so cool too, because it is different from your brand. Like you do tell stories on stream, but not that kind of story. But it's a talent that you have, and so you're utilizing that to just continue to drive traffic though. You know, and like I think it's 10 times funnier to throw a frying pan at somebody who has deep lore than it is to throw a frying pan at a generic person on the internet. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
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 It's gonna really enhance my viewer experience, I feel. Mine
Okay,
specifically.
Paz. I'll make sure you hydrate.
Oh my god.
All that hydrating makes the pan pain go away. Not really, but
You know, I one of these days, maybe I'll do it for April Fools. I just want to do a stream where I never get past the starting soon. Just that's this whole stream.
I love that. Do that. That'd be great, April. Mcknux, what about you? What are you working on from your branding perspective?
Dude, just different types of just content. I'll tell you truthfully, I've been working on a lot of just bringing my content outside of my box here. You know what I mean? Like I don't want, like I want to do more IRL, so you actually get to know the world around me. So I'm usually, and I was talking to Mafia about this even before stream, but
Look at all your vlogging stuff you've been posting on Twitter with the cons.
yeah, and
Awesome,
it's like, you know what, I need to, this is content as well too, because every time I'm on tour, every time I'm a guest at a convention, I need to put this as a stream, you know what I'm saying? Because people want to know what's it like, you know what I'm saying? What's it like, being me, being out there, being a special guest, or being an event organizer, or being an MC, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we want to see the world around you. So I feel like that's the one thing I want to work on is, doing a lot more IRL. And truth be told, besides IRL, just doing a lot more days that involves the community as well too, because I'm like, you know what? Everybody jumps in just to see me and get my reaction to certain games and and to see my antics for sure. But I don't get the chance to involve the community as much as I want to, when it comes to my content or just certain gameplays. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta switch that. I gotta tweak that a little bit. I gotta make sure that, many times I've had people inbox me and say, oh man, I want to get a chance to hang with you, to talk to you. Like, oh my God, dude, you're amazing. But is there a time that, you play with your viewers? And I'm like, I get that question so many times. I'm like, man, I need to kind of switch it up now. You know what I'm saying? Like I do want to involve them, because again, you involve the community, that makes them stick around a lot, that makes them stick around a lot. That makes them, more, relate to you even more, because it's like, I'm not anybody special, I mean, I'm like, just like you, just want to have fun for sure,
Yeah.
So I want to work on those two to kind of like, I guess build my brand up. Is definitely IRL and more just involving the community into, my content. That should, hopefully, get the spark I need, continue, going forward. So yeah, we'll see what happens as time goes on.
And I feel like, because I've engaged a little bit with some of that content, I feel like that's, again, like you're playing to an incredible strength of yours. Like one thing that I've always thought, it makes sense that you're an MC, like finding that out that you MC for things, like the way you phrase things sounds almost scripted, but still natural.
Yeah.
And I've always noticed that about you. And it's like, man, this guy is like prime YouTube material, and like so good. And like I've said this about like Egan as well, like there's some people that have like that versatility where you're like, you could make it on Twitch or YouTube and your content would go so far. And like it's so to hear that your kind of next exploration for your brand is to go into that like vlogging and community interaction style, it just makes so much sense. And like I'm nerding out over my stream friends here,
Yeah, but again, like I said, it just all the more, now I kind of, definitely want to, take a chapter from Mafi personally to make like a VTube, not a VTube, I'm sorry, a YouTube, videos where I could post a lot of my content on as well too, and from the past. I haven't done that yet, you know what I'm saying? Like I did that beforehand, with older content, man, but I haven't done that consistently,
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me do that, man, because this person has done it and successful with it, or this person has done this, in this way, in this manner, and is being successful with it as well too. So I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of branches I can kind of, take and see how, that ball gets rolling. But again, like I said, with anything you do, time will tell how that works out, for you. So. But that's the next thing I want to definitely do is definitely IRLs, and then just more community, outlook or community involvements, So yeah, we'll see what happens.
So one thing I wanted to bring up before we went into this tangent is like, so target audiences. Like knowing what kind of audience you want to target. Most people, they don't think about it, and for the general purposes, that's fine. It really depends on like how far you want to go with it, and like to kind of like give you like an understanding of what exactly I'm talking about. Let's say for example PG-13 streamers, or actually just PG-13 in general. Like yeah, you'll hit like a broader audience. You'll hit a lot more people, you know, being PG-13. But then you had like each kind of like target audience has its own pros and cons. And the cons for like having a broader audience, you have to be careful what you say, how you do things, how you present yourself, versus like,
heavier community moderation.
Yes.
Super important.
yes.
Yeah.
And then like if you're doing, for example, more of like 18 plus, you know, you'll have a lot more niche, but like you'll be more free in aspects. Like you'll be able to do things that you normally wouldn't with a PG-13. But then like there's other things like you also got to keep in mind. Like for example with the 18 plus, like you also have to be aware like sometimes you get like more of the
Crepes.
yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say it, crepes.
Yes, like that, and it's like it's no offense to like people who do the 18 plus. That's just how that audience is. Like that's just like I said, the pros and cons of it, and this is something you need to take into consideration. And it's not just age, like how, like for example, for energetic or chill you are. Like for example, like I feel bad for like when, let's say for example, Mafi rates me, because like Mafi's coming off from like a chill stream into a high energy stream, and like, you know,
That's so funny.
that's a different like that's like going canoeing and you're just like having a nice relaxing moment, and then suddenly you're in the rapids, like. And I feel bad for like those kind of, you know, viewers, but like it just is how it is. But like for like, again, knowing your target audience, like I know my kind of audience, the people that view me, and like when I try to like not necessarily rate out, like I kind of divvy it up how whoever I rate into, but like if I have more freedom to choose, no. If I'm gonna choose someone and like I don't have like preset something in mind that I want to raid into, I'll choose to try to raid someone who my community will basically they'll mesh right into. Like me raiding right into Baguette is perfectly fine, like because while there is differences between mine and her community, the community as a whole meshes pretty well. And same goes with the Mcknux, you know. I'm not afraid to raid into, like for example, Mafi. In fact, I personally try to raid people who I haven't raided in a while to try to keep it even amongst communities, because eventually you'll have people that will mesh. Like it's fine with them whether it's chill or energetic, but like it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, because like how you present yourself as your brand is how people draw into you, and how they'll stay. Like knowing the audience per se.
It's so crazy real quick, because like you said, you definitely want to spread out you know who you raid out to. I just want to give you like one example. Like I remember this is what I usually do, you know, for when I raid, like when I found you, Baguette, I always have like a raid order. I always have a simple piece of paper, and you probably see the simple piece of paper right here with everybody's name, and I put like an order, like new girl, crew girl, new boy, crew boy, new girl, crew girl. So I was like, okay, it's time to raid somebody.
Cool.
It's time to raid somebody. Oh, let's raid a new girl. You know what I'm saying? Or a new boy. You know? Yeah, right. You know, and Mafi, I have you somewhere. I don't know where I wrote
the
you.
Irony is literally, I was gonna do something like this this week's exact same thing, where I'm gonna write down everybody and just kind of do a checklist, because like I feel bad like when I haven't rated someone in a while, and I'm like, have I done that recently?
Do it. You have to. And again, that's why you expand your community as well. You know, but it's just you kind of keep track of who you show love to. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can show love to each other every stream for sure. I could rate Baguette Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I could do it in the song.
You could.
You know what I'm saying? I could, but I won't. But but I could. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but it's like now we have the opportunity of this platform to make so many friends that use it, you know, definitely use it, and you'll see how beneficial it will be, you know. So, and like I said, that's what I do, you know what I mean? So when it was time for the new girl, I was like, hey, let's see. Oh, there goes Baguette, you know what I mean? And there you go. And look what the results is now, you know what I'm saying? Now, I hate Baguette's guts. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So there you go.
Love you.
But see, Raiden Baguette now got the opportunity to meet every one of y'all. That is amazing, and I love y'all so much. And see, that's how Twitch is supposed to be. How Twitch is supposed to be.
That's what the CEO said. Is not to the same vein, but like very close in regards to the grow on the channel is to network and communicate and be with your peers rather than to trying to solo it.
Yep.
On the topic of that audience and brand awareness, I think it's another really important point is it helps you market to your own people better as well. Like, so I'm trying to think like how I would describe my target audience. I would say my target audience is at least 16 plus, typically. I'm not like super lewd or immature, like inappropriate. I'm definitely immature. I'm not super inappropriate.
Yeah, right.
But it has potential to go that way, right? So like somebody who's 16, 17 is able to handle overhearing a conversation like that, and it's totally fine. You're probably old enough to understand like the jokes and what's acceptable or not acceptable. But like being aware of that and knowing what my audience is helps me also when I'm planning to post content on other platforms or in my Discord, better interact with my community. So like I have a lot of chefs in my community. My stuff is very food centered. So like I'm right now planning to do a cooking contest where they're gonna submit recipes and then I'm gonna cook them and try them, and like that's a fun thing. Also brand awareness. I like knowing your age group is very, very important in terms of moderating your community. If you have a mix of minors and adults in your community, like being aware of that can be really important to keeping your space safe for everybody involved and knowing what flies and what doesn't. And in the same vein, it also helps you draw the line. Like I probably would never post like lewd art of my model anywhere or commission it, or if somebody sent that to me, I'd probably be uncomfortable. But I'll make her in a Vaporeon and then flash her ass on Twitter. Like, that's fine. Like,
You
like,
control that
lines.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, that's funny. She's fully clothed and she's Vaporeon, and the joke is in the subtext, right? Like, a lot of my jokes are subtextual. But yeah, so like knowing that helps you better interact and being conscientious of the kind of people you want to attract as well when you're engaging with other communities or engaging with other platforms, like super important to know who your target audience is for all of those reasons. How would you guys all define your target audiences?
Listen, my target audience, that's why I don't curse. I really, I'll give you one quick story, man. I remember I had a DM after a stream, and this was a father that was with his like 9-year-old son that was watching my stream, and he said that they both loved my stream so much. They said, one, you kept it clean. You didn't curse. They loved the way I guess my take on MFer is like mother, father, sister, brother. I'd say that all the time.
Yeah.
Where it's now like a kind of a meme, you know what I'm saying? But he said, yeah, now my son is saying mother, father, sister, brother, man. But I kind of allow that, man, because at least he doesn't curse or say the actual curse word. You know, I'm like, I'm glad, you know, I'm kind of teaching them to have curse in a sense, man, which is great. But, you know, they say, you know, he was saying like, yeah, I'm so happy that, you know, with a lot of these content creators, man, that, you know, I've been trying to, you know, monitor what my child watches. And a lot of these content creators, you know, will be, you know, so out of pocket saying the most, you know, slurs and stuff like that. I'm like, oh boy, I gotta watch them. But when I saw you, man, it was like a breath of fresh air, man. I'm so happy that you were funny, you kept entertaining, your words were pure. I'm like, you know what? And that stuck with me. And I'm like, I got to keep this PG. I got to keep this PG, man, because if it's a father and a son, I know there's a lot of other young people, man, that are probably watching it, you know, my streams, and you know, with their parents or with their guardians, whoever, that want to, you know, have an example, you know, of how to, you know, be proper, you know what I'm saying? And which, like, and again, no sly on anybody that will cuss up a storm on the streams for sure, you know, make it funny. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You do what you do, make it, you know, whatever's comfortable, but make sure you tag your stream that's appropriate like that, you know what I mean? So, like you said, 18 plus or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you use your Twitch tags to say like, yeah, this is mature content, you know what I mean?
Yep,
so,
exactly.
But yeah, yeah, you gotta make sure that you are genuine to yourself, you know?
Mcknux is trying to be a household name, man. That's what mom's got on her phone while she's making dinner. And it doesn't matter if all the kids hear because it's clean. It's good.
There you go. Oh,
Please
man.
don't play me around your kids.
BB, too late. Like I said, I got a bunch. I babysit a bunch of little cousins and nieces and nephews, and all they watch is you, and they act like you, and I'm like, oh my God, BB.
They
wow.
act like her.
They act like me.
Yes.
Look, it's better to
French
act like her than
accents?
act like me. I'm gonna be real
Oh
now.
my God, dude.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to get examples of this. This is too good.
dude,
Yeah.
I will try to, like, you know, record them on the phone. I'll put in Discord. I got you.
Yeah.
Man. But oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm like, kids, please. I get more of Baguette enough, please. Just I don't want Baguette IRL with these little.
I feel like if you wanted to act like me, you just have to spin around in circles and go. Ho, 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 ho.
That's what they do. They do the spins. They do the. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Stop. Stop.
Amazing.
Like from the sofa or something.
Oh my God. You know, so oh my God, I have like, again, my little niece, man, does the same. I'm like, shut up with that. Like, stop. But that's influencing.
amazing.
That's influencing.
Oh my
There
God,
you
I'm
go.
so proud.
I hate your guts so much, but I love
I
you.
will if you DM me. I will make a little video for your niece and nephew.
Oh
I will make
my
a personal video for them.
Dude, I don't want you to, but
I will. I will. Like for birthdays, like I feel like a cameo, but I won't charge you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But that's the funny thing too. Is like even going back to like talking about merch, and I think they want your merch too, BB. I feel like
Oh, I have to do my merch drop.
and
It's
you know,
true.
'cause I feel like they're automatic fans of you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know,
So
and it,
honored. Oh my God.
yeah. So that's just an example. You know what I'm saying? I will change the channel. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got it hooked on my big screen TV here. I'll try to change the channel. I'm like, okay, who's on? Hey, kids, let's watch Mafia. You know what I'm saying? So they'll sit and watch Mafia, or they'll sit and watch Paz or Blair. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, oh my God, yeah. You know, they start acting like each and every one of them. Like, okay, well, you know what?
I love that.
Yeah, it's Lord.
Impressionable. I
I
love
like
it.
to
Yeah.
think that because I'm not outlandish or anything, like super loud. They're just like stare.
Yeah, but they'll say Mafia. They'll know a couple of them say, oh my God, she's so pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they'll like, you know, they will like, you know, draw to you. You know what I'm saying? And try to be surprised, Mafia, that one of them will probably cosplay you. You know, in the future. So yeah.
Ready,
you know,
we're ready.
Yeah, believe me, it
All
could
right, now
happen.
we have to do like a giant, like for their birthdays, like big VTuber high. We have
You
to
know
make
what?
it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. If you do that, I'll
You
get
DM
the
me.
reaction. Okay,
I'll get it coordinated.
I get the reaction.
I got you.
bet. Okay.
Oh man.
It's funny because this actually kind of it segues into what I was gonna say. Not directly, but indirectly, is like knowing also what your audience wants. But here's the caveat to that. I would say like you have to be realistic because sometimes what your audience wants, you may not be comfortable with, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I'd say like do things only you're comfortable with.
It has to be mutual.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I can't begin the number of times where like I see like don't get me wrong, I love Xavier. Xavier's amazing. But like some of the stuff like as like I have to ask him like just like I know this may be like your persona, but like are you okay with this? Because like
Yeah.
like you know the things like chat will ask him is just like I don't. I want to make sure at the end of the day like he's doing things that he's okay with and just like he's not letting like you know chat take over and making him do things that he's just not comfortable with, you know?
You are in control of your brand.
Yes.
At the end of the
Yep.
day, you are in control of your brand. If I'm sick of being baggy waggy, I can disable her at any time.
Yep.
And you know what? Nobody can tell me otherwise. And if
Yep.
they try to, I'm gonna say, I'm done with that for right now.
Yeah.
Like that's over for me. I don't want to do that. And like that can be games you don't want to play. That can be times you don't want to stream. That can be platforms you don't want to be on. You know, all kinds of things. Your brand is yours. You control it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and I agree with you on that too, B, because again, I'm that's like me. I'm not a horror gamer like that, but chat wants me to play a couple horror games and all too. Which I'm like, you know what? I will bend. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be like, nah, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I get scared so easily, and I don't like to show my scaredy cat side and all that. You know what I mean? But I will bend, yeah, for sure. You know, but again, you know, it's you know, you want to see what you like Pat said, you want to see what your audience wants, you know, from you.
Yeah. But it's on your terms.
Yeah, on your terms.
I know a lot of stuff that I've done that have been like chat requests that I quote unquote like wasn't comfortable with in a normal sense. I save that for like when I do a charity event or a big subathon or something like that, because as long as it's not like something I'm legitimately against, right, or goes against my morals, my ethics, whatever, like if you have something that you are willing to do for that, like making it and relegating it to those special moments also gives you that opportunity to be like, hey, this doesn't go with my brand. However, I'm doing this as a special thing. Do not think this is going to change anything. This is for charity. This is because it's a 14-hour stream and I have no other ideas what to do. Like, and it keeps it separate still while still acquiescing to your audience.
That's what I saved Choco Glizzies and Dilk for. God, don't ever drink Dilk. It is disgusting.
That sounds good. I don't get this anti-Dilk. Sure, milk is just liquid ice cream.
Mountain Dilk tastes like how Lemon Pledge smells.
I'm sorry, it's just the name Dilk, man.
No, yeah, I get you. When I was introduced to him, like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I will say, Paz, next time you better do a caramel glizzy because it was actually really good.
Really?
Yep.
I'll keep that in mind.
Caramel glizzy actually tasted good.
You know what? You just do things that you're uncomfortable with, but on like a monumental occasion, Paz.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, you know, your 1,000 follow, you know what I'm saying? Do like a, and just do something that you be out of pocket that you would
and
never
on
normally
your
do.
own terms.
On your own terms, for sure, you know. Believe me, 1,000 follow, when I hit 1,000, dude, I didn't want to eat a hot chip, you know what I'm saying? But I had to, and God, I suffered, man, you know? But I know that's gonna be that one-time only thing, you know? Like, yeah, why not? Why not? You know, just
It's
do it.
why I've only drank Mountain Dilk twice in my entire life. And both times was horrible.
But you know what? Make it a third time when you reach.
No. I just want to point out that Mountain Dilk curdles the milk. You're drinking cheese.
I don't know what's going on on your side of the country, but my Mountain Dilk did not curdle.
It happened to Xavi too. It curdled his milk too.
First of all, Baguette, that means whatever you poured in is radioactive. That's why it ain't curdled.
Mine didn't curdle. It was just normal.
That's so weird. See, no.
Normal.
No, I'm glad you didn't grow a third eye. You know.
Taking notes for when I'm packing
That we
for
know
work
of.
tomorrow.
So Mafi's brand is that Mafi has no taste buds. Okay, noted.
Jeez.
You don't even like cheese, but your whole brand is about Gouda Galaxy. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
But yeah, I feel like it's so funny. Like you can, I took it almost ironically because I think like chat, like especially, I was gonna say a couple months ago. It's almost been like a year or two since it was really chaotic. There was a lot of stinky cheese emotes, and everyone associated me with cheese. And then
Yeah,
this was like part of like the brand kind of evolution in a way. It's kind of neat because like my channel points are now cheese, and also like the server, like the Discord server is called the Gouda Galaxy, and there's like subtle cheese things because I'm not chaotic about it. I know Baguette's tried to get me cheese flavored themed outfits, and I'm just like, they have not hit the light of day just yet. But
I have mac and cheese Mafi, but I gotta redo it.
I have to
rebrand
ask,
in.
do you
I
get the
have
cheese
to
from the moon?
no comment.
Moon cheese?
Food is made of
Moon
cheese.
Moon cheese.
You can't tell the government that. They're gonna
So they're gonna put it in their cheese caverns.
Mhm.
Did you know about the U.S. government cheese caverns? Hang on, we can't talk about that right now. That's totally off topic. The cheese.
That's another episode. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Do we have a
Where you-
topic for that?
Where are you streaming from, Moppy? The cheese caves in the United States. Oh
Oh
man.
boy.
So,
Oh, so good.
if we're ready to move on to the next subject, or if not, we can continue talking about cheese. I'm okay with it. But, mission
Respectfully
statements.
move on.
Like, having a mission to go hunt down government cheese.
Yeah.
So I personally think that when it comes to like a mission statement, it's not something you are required to have as a content creator, but it definitely helps in regards to giving your content a direction, like a focus or like a focal point, to kind of give you an idea of what I mean. Like charity streamers, they're a good example because everything that they do is for charity. All that money that they earn goes to the charity, but like it's much broader of a thing. Like, for example, my mission statement for me personally is, and it always has been, doesn't matter how many people are watching. It could be 1, it could be 1 million. As long as one person had a better day at the end of what I did, that's all that matters, and it doesn't even matter if I notice it or not. Like it, and that's ever since then. Like that's always been how I run everything. So I don't know about the three of you, but like, do any of you have like a mission statement or a thing that you go by?
As I totally agree, and like I said, this is that's why every stream I have to start off with a just chatting stream, but my just chatting stream is not an ordinary just chatting stream. It's always a showcase of another streamer that I've never got a chance to raid ever, and my mission statement is just showing support no matter what, what I'm saying, expanding your circle, because that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. So I was like, you know what, how can I, show support from start to finish, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Let me go ahead and just make it like a Mcknux streamer of the moment in the beginning while I'm talking about like, just my day and all that too. I'll have somebody else's stream playing, I mean, one day we had Mafia stream playing, and that's when Mafia got confused, when I think you saw when I shouted you out.
It was like a shout out thing. I was like, what the hell?
He was like, what? I was like, I didn't see no raid. I was like, I was watching your VOD afterwards, and I was cracking up, Mafia. It was like, wait, what? I didn't see no raid, but that's what I usually do. I will shout you out and I'll play like a clip, but it in the beginning, I will, make sure that it focuses on the streamer, what I'm saying? And at the end, of course, we focus on another streamer, so it's like a double raid in a sense, because I have people like, hey, you know what? Mcknux is talking about this streamer in the beginning, I'm gonna follow the streamer, or we want to raid this streamer at the end. Yeah, it's always about showing support for me. That's my mission statement, is to support one another, to widen your circle, widen your family, broaden your community, broaden your horizons, support. That's the main thing. If I could just pick one word, it's support, hands down. Let's go, that's all.
So honorable. And also, I'll never forget when you had Charlie's stream up, and it happened to be me, Blair, and Charlie on Charlie's stream.
Oh my God, that was
branded Charlie's stream with Knuckles.
That was hilarious. That was so like my chat was like, what is going on? Like, my chat was like, they noticed you. I was like, yeah, they noticed me. I'm trying to be all incognito and all that too, like shouting y'all out in the beginning, that didn't work with Mafia, that didn't work with y'all, I'm like, God, Lord, man, I'm trying to be all like in the cut, but oh my, it was so hilarious, man. With
so good.
I was so good. Night. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's nothing but support. So I always like, when I'm setting up and I do my starting soon screen, I always go on Twitch, and I'm like, all right, who's streaming? Who's like, I always like, pick somebody that I haven't rated before or ever, or they got a chance to rate in a while. And I'm like, you know what? Bet. We'll play this person's stream, put that, and chat like, you know what? Yeah, okay, yeah. If you recommend this person Mcknux, I'll follow for sure. So
yeah,
it's been like that since for a while now, man. It's just definitely showing support. 100% wherever you are. Don't support me. I'd rather have my chat support all of y'all before they would support me. And that's the main thing.
Just remember to throw bits at Mcknux.
No, you better not. No.
Yeah, you better.
Tad, listen, ongoing war between me and
Oh man. You guys have such honorable mission statements. I don't really have a mission statement, but streaming for me is a hobby. I have a full-time job outside of streaming. Full-time job, full-time life. For me, I just hope that my streams and my community are a place where people feel like they can escape almost, even if it's I have like I will say like IRL life seeps into my stream sometimes. I talk about things in my VCs, talk about things on stream that are going on, but I do that mostly out of a sense of transparency and also normalizing that kind of behavior and stuff, because I think a lot of society is very repressed and like suppressing your feelings about things, whether they're positive or negative. Like you can't get too excited because that's weird, or you can't actually be upset about something because that's not acceptable. Why are you so upset? And so like, I guess my underlying goal is I want to normalize just feeling things, but I also want us to have a place where if we want, we can just be happy for a little while. And I think that's what the core of my content tries to be. And even if I don't hit that statement all the time, sometimes it's a rage stream. Sometimes you just gotta play heavy metal and buy a $60 Nintendo game and then just destroy all of Hyrule because it was that bad of a day. But like, even that is still like normalizing those big feelings and big emotions and having those and working through them
Or
in
makes
a
them
productive,
angry.
non-harmful
Cough,
way.
cough. Or makes Sim angry, cough, cough.
Or making Sim angry. That's always a great way to decompress after a long work day. Solving shrines incorrectly to make him mad and invoking the wrath of Sweden is always a passion of mine. That's my new mission statement. Invoke the wrath of Sweden. Yeah, there we go. That's my number one goal. I feel like since I'm like kind of a representative of France, I should be really careful. I might start some real beef. I don't really want to do that, you know? Oh man. Mavi!
Hello. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background, but they're really going off with those fireworks. I promise I'm not in downtown LA at the moment, getting shot at. Don't worry. But it's okay. It's coming through. It's a celebration of having Mcknux on.
Hey,
That's what it is.
Mafi, that's why I love you, Mafi.
But I feel like my mission statement isn't even like tied to streaming per se, but more so I think I've kind of caught on to it. I'm in fifth year uni now, kind of trying to work out my graduation, but since first year I've kind of been an introvert that forced themselves into extroversion, and through that but not that I regret it or anything, but I take real pride in being able to kind of connect people together that aren't normally associating with each other. One thing when me and Egan started dating, well, one thing that happened with that was we made an effort to connect our communities together, and because we have a lot of IRLs in our communities, or just people like it's really interesting. It's like someone from that side of the world, and like we've kind of just put people in the same like setting or situation, and now they're besties, and like me and Ian don't even have to be there, you know, like, and I find that so cool. And I guess like through streaming, I'd like to eventually do that. I think that's why I don't raid into people that I don't already know, which I think can deviate from some poor experiences, but I think that's just my sample size. But what I do also do from time to time is just kind of like pop into people's streams offline, like offline, like when I'm not streaming, I'm just doing whatever, like kind of bored kind of thing, and just going, hey, let me network with this person, and then eventually I'll start acclimatizing my group to your group, that kind of thing. And I think that's something I kind of strive towards, connecting communities together of just genuinely like good people. I know with like Baguette, for example, someone that's been very prominent in Baguette streams recently is, well, I don't know super recently, but Shams. They're someone in the community. Like they've been so engaged in your content lately, and I hear a lot of that, and I love seeing that. And eventually, gotta get someone hooked on Paz and Mcknux's, especially. But it's like an internal goal, like connecting
Right.
those communities together, being that middleman person, but then being able to step back and being like, well, I don't have to be here, and you guys still get along. I think that's really neat.
That's fair. That's noble. I appreciate that too. And that's what I guess that's goal for everybody too. You know what I mean? It's like, we want our communities to intermingle. You know what I'm saying? Like we have that that vision of like, Knuckles Clan meeting, the bakery or Knuckles Clan and the Oomfies mixing together, you know what I'm saying? Or, Paz's. I know a lot of my people always hop in your stream, Paz, like, yeah, they just want to, they say they love you so much, man. It's like, oh, thank you for introducing me to Paz. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? To tell them I hate them, but you're welcome, But, it's a goal for all of us to have our communities intermingle, you know what I'm saying? It's like part of the lore, It's part of the lore.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess-
Totally.
Go ahead.
What's it called? I mean, all this lore got begat a granddaughter that they weren't even aware, or granddaughter that they weren't even aware of.
Correct.
Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was Ira.
Oh no, so Egan's my child. Egan is Cloud Nice child.
Oh.
And then obviously Mafia and Egan are together and they have a child together.
Oh.
So I have a grand, which that was I had a really cool interaction. I came into Discord in Mafi's VC for the first time in a good while, and she was in there, and she was like, "This is the first time I'm meeting my grandmother."
Oh.
Gotta love Wada.
So cute and precious. Precious. I think this is a great segue to talk about something else that when we talk about branding, that is really important. The brands you interact with will shape your brand, obviously in subtle ways, like you'll pick up ideas, inspiration, but also being mindful too of, making sure you're connecting with good people. It's, I think, a really hard thing to do. It can be very easy to latch on people that you find entertaining or people who have had a lot of success, but success doesn't always mean good people. And I think that just being mindful of what brands you tie your brand to can be really important. If you are ever concerned about tying your brand to another person's community, or you're concerned that, somebody may not have good intentions or the same values as you, like, that's not something you want to ignore when it comes to your brand and protecting your brand. And I think that's a mistake people make a lot because they see somebody who's successful and they're like, oh, they must be good. Like, no. Actually, maybe your definition of good and their definition of good is different as well. So it couldn't even be just like that they're an objectively bad person, but maybe you have different too. So something else to just be mindful of in the brand conversation. We're talking about communities and
Yeah, actually, to tack on to that, one of the notes that I had written down prior in regards to like professionalism, like with your peers and all like that, is just like, so like, for example, with me, like what the me on stream is part of me, but like that's me dialed up to like an 11 or a 12. I'm a lot more realistic and calm behind the scenes, but like when I interact with people, it's like I make sure to make point like, hey, this is me, this is how I am, like you're not gonna get the me dialed up to 11 unless we're online, and only unless like if we're collaborating together, if you're okay with it. Cause like I know sometimes like I can be just a bit much. I'm gonna be real now, like I could be too much, I could be gaslighting, like, and some people, they're not okay with that, and it's like having that communication goes a long way.
I think paying attention to social dynamics are really important.
Yeah, in regards to that, actually, that kind of is a great segue if we're ready to go on to another subject, is authenticity. I have quite a bit to go about this, but like I'll let someone else take the stage because I feel like I could talk about this for quite a bit, so... No? Alright.
Oh, start it off, Paz, yeah.
I would love to start this by talking about, well, first, the audience can always tell the authenticity. yeah, sometimes it might take them a while, but like they'll catch on. They'll know if you're being authentic and how you present yourself, how you talk about stuff, and how you do things. And I have no personal feelings about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, but I want to start off by asking each of you first. Do you know anything about him in the recent events?
Not at all.
No? Okay. And then I want to ask you, what is your perception? Like, when you look at The Rock as a brand, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, what do you think of him?
That's the funny thing too, because even watching like wrestling like way back when, I mean, Rock was like an iconic hero. Now, in this new, that was the Attitude Era. And that was like
He was
the
a heel
90s
back
era.
in the day.
Yeah. But now in this era, it's like, okay, when did The Rock, become a bad guy now, man? That that everybody hates. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So it's just a interesting twist of I guess branding in a Rock sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. But I'm like, okay, all right.
So, wait, did something happen? Because
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna go over because that actually ties into the authenticity.
Okay, yeah.
But like, I want to know what your thoughts are before we talk about that, because like, what I'm about to say can change your perspective of him. And like, it's not super bad or anything. Like, we're not getting into like super drama or anything. But like,
when I think about The Rock, I literally just think about like when he did the Disney movie with the little girl, the daddy's like daycare. It's not daddy's daycare. What?
No, he's
something
about
else.
Moana? Not Moana.
No, he did Moana with that. He was Maui, but then there was one where he was the Tooth Fairy, and there was another where he had a child he didn't know about who just showed up.
Oh, it was I was just watching it, man. It was he's a football player, and Lord have mercy, dude. It's
Yeah, no, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I also think of like the new Jumanji movie, and mostly like family movies, like family-friendly movies, primarily when I think of The Rock. I know he's also been involved in like charitable work in the past. That's really all I think of.
so
Strong, funny. Doesn't take himself too seriously.
Is there anything you want to add on, Mafi?
Funnily enough, the first thing that came to mind was his pancakes cheat meal. Because, what's it called? Like, I just remember it being so ridiculous. like it's like 6 big, stacks of, or stacked pancakes and stuff like that, and just a bunch of stuff you expect someone like him to just never, like, chow down on and, like, devour, I guess. But, aside from that, like, I'm so out of touch with celebrities, I almost don't get it. Where, like, I'm like, why are these people, like, famous in the first place? Because to be brutally honest, I feel like I grew up in a way where I'm like, oh, that person, that's just a guy, that's just a, like, why are we like drawing so much attention to them? But I'm assuming it's the movie, like the stuff that you guys have been kind of describing that gets them in the mainstream media. But aside from that, like, I think I haven't watched that stuff, like any of the movies he's in, but I got that perception of kind of like a not a gentle giant, but a goober giant, like a silly little guy giant.
Yeah, and I'd say those are pretty accurate, like, public perceptions of what his like, if you want to call it a brand, is. And now, like, the reason why I want to bring him up and kind of use him as like a case study to kind of like to learn from more than anything, rather than actually talk about the nitty gritty details. But like, so in regards to his authenticity, he's been proven on several times in like media, like on Twitter, like talk about, hey, this is my first time eating In-N-Out Burger. And then a couple months will go by, and then he did it again, where it's like, my first time in In-N-Out Burger, and then a third time. And so that calls into questions like, is this part of like a brand deal is he doing? Is he lying about it? Like, it calls into questions like the authenticity of his brand. And then there's other things like in regards to, like, I know calories, like he says he eats so many calories, and then it calls into question, well, because he's a bodybuilder, people know him for like his like strength gains and all that. Then it's like, all right, is he lying about his calorie intake? Is he lying about the things that he consumes? And like these are kind of things like you need to be aware of when like being authentic with your brand. And I think like, and using The Rock as an example, lying hurt his brand as a whole, or at least not really. I won't say lying, because like it could be like a gimmick thing that maybe he was doing or whatever, but like that wasn't how the public viewed it in per se. But like for example, like with me, like I tell white lies quite, I won't say often, but like in regards to like it's part of the joke, it's part of the gimmick because I'm gaslighting. But like, so it's not so much that was lying that was for me the issue, but like if how I present, how I do things, my actions. Actually, actions is the way better. Your actions is how your public will view you, and then like from that they'll be able to determine the authenticity of your brand. Like, hey, like for example, I'm a very trolly streamer, like I gaslight people, that sort of thing. And then you come in and the next thing you know, you see me be like, oh, I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you have a great day. And like, oh yeah, you know, being very kind, what my action of betraying the brand of being kind of like a troll or a gaslight or something like that. So like, it's something you need to have a conscious idea of like what you're doing. For like, honestly, for us, that's a non-issue because like we are portraying our brands, being ourselves, but like I'm gonna use Dr. Disrespect as an example here. Like if you use a persona that isn't directly yourself, you got to be aware of that kind of thing though. And I think that's fine if you want to do like more of like a gimmick brand. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but like it is something you should be aware of if you do.
I need to share a dirty secret that we have to tell everyone. So, we've talked about tipsy and tarnished, okay? When it comes to authenticity, right? People are expecting me to be at a certain level of intoxication. I can say with full confidence that I have always been at least some level of intoxicated and behaved as such, and I have not exaggerated my own intoxication on stream. But I have lied about sips before for my own safety.
All right, good. Fair.
There are definitely times where, but that's the thing too of like authenticity, but on your own terms, right? Like I don't want to get so drunk that I am in danger, because that's a bad representation for my community or people that I'm, you know, modeling in front of, right? And it promotes really bad habits in others. But at the same time, like they're still having an authentic experience. I always made sure that was the case. I would never ever do a tipsy and tarnished sober, but I wouldn't ever drink to the point that I was actually in danger.
Right.
Ever. And if that meant that I had to have sips of water between sips of drink, or not drink anything and just pretend for a second, I was willing to do that. But you can still maintain the authenticity without like being 100% like doing everything to the letter the way you say you're doing it.
Actually, I have a great example on my end. So for my end, I have VIP drink whole bottle, where I just drink a whole bottle of whatever I have. Like after being forced to drink 21 whole bottles of water, I was like, all right, something's got to change, because
you're gonna get sick. Exactly. Yeah.
So what I've done is like I still drink a whole bottle, but like what I don't tell people is like they're not fully finished bottles. Like there's like quarter or less in a bottle, and like just I drink water and I'll just set those ones aside that aren't unfinished, and just like for what I stream is I'm redeemed VIP drink whole bottle. That's what I'm drinking. I'm not drinking a real whole bottle. Yeah. I'm just drinking that.
Yeah.
Right.
The reason I bring that up is not to be like, haha, you can get away with lying to your chat. Like, no. I think that what I would hate to see a content creator do is take authenticity to the level that they actually harm themselves or others.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where like if you don't feel like drawing the line in the sand to be like, this is a boundary that you're gonna draw. Like we talked about mental health and boundaries in our last podcast, but you still want to continue to stream, just make sure you're not blatantly lying, because that's not good. But don't do things for the sake of just being truthful that put you in danger either. Yeah. Like I just like to like caveat that, because it's really easy to overplay into scenarios. I mean, how many times have we seen celebrities lose their minds, like because they can't control it anymore. Like,
True.
same thing can happen to you. You can put yourself into a dangerous headspace, so don't do that for just the sake of being real. Doesn't have to be raw and real all the time, man. Like,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, sometimes it's good to act out, you know. But you know, there's certain factors to it that you got to keep in mind.
yeah.
And yeah, like I said, this is we're all entertainers, but there's so many ways we can find a way to entertain, you know, the crowds, the masses, man. But at the same time, you know, still be comfortable with what we're doing, you know. You know, listen, it's just it's kind of a catch-22 in a sense, man, because yeah, we want to be like the crazy. Trust me, I always look at people. I remember this is a good example, really, to be honest with you. When me and my buddy, real like Peter Griffin, we was streaming with iShowSpeed earlier, and we know like his antics, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, this, and before we streamed, we was in the Discord, you know, talking. He's a chilled guy, you know what I'm saying? He's a really chilled guy. And he does this, man, because, you know, it's the entertainment, it's his antics. It brings entertainment, that brings the masses, that brings the followers and all that. You know, no wonder he gets millions and millions of viewers and followers, right?
Yeah.
But there's at times where he went too far and actually almost, endangered himself to the point where he had to go to the hospital, you know. And I'm like, dude, when is it going to, when are you going to kind of like, you know, give yourself a borderline, you know what I'm saying, that you won't cross, dude. But, you know, at this point, man, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the crowd wants it. All right, you know what, the crowd's gonna get it, man. But you gotta understand yourself. That's, you know, that works for certain people. That doesn't work for all of us, you know what I mean?
Your brand isn't worth your life, your health, or your relationships.
Yeah.
No brand is worth those things, in my opinion. And it doesn't mean that your experiences that you provide as your brand can't still be authentic. Like I can only use examples that I have, but like my Tipsy Tarnished Tuesdays, I was tipsy, I was tarnished, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was an authentic experience that everybody had. Nobody's gonna walk away from that and say, I don't think she actually was drinking, because I was.
Yep.
But at the same time, I was prioritizing my own physical health and also prioritizing the example that I would set for my viewers of they're never going to see me incapacitated in that manner either. Right? So,
Facts.
And
Facts.
I'm even willing to say this and come out my dirty secret so that you all know that, hey, I have not had 700 sips of alcohol on stream, okay? And you shouldn't either, because that's really bad. Don't get zooted out of your mind
Oh yeah,
on
like,
a work night.
I love Xavi, but like when we did our charity event, like he made the little spiel, like for every, I think it was like $1 donated, I'll take a shot of alcohol. $600 later, I like before like when I saw like the money come in, like I told him like, look, just do one, because I don't want to be responsible for, you know, having the first streamer die on stream due to alcohol poisoning. Like
Yeah. So authenticity with the caveat of safety, example setting for your own community, and just knowing that authenticity and truth are not the same. They're different words.
Spelled differently too.
Yeah.
In the streamer sphere, I think I wonder how, like, in the moment you almost don't want to be a buzzkill about it, right? Like you don't want to like admit on stream like that, yeah, like you've missed a drink or two, or you're not quite doing it to a T. But I think to like, as an alternative, if you don't want to kind of have yourself in that kind of situation, also have that kind of preparation of, like, for example, when I did my subathon for the first time, I had no idea how far it'll even go or anything of that sort. So like when I ran out of cheese, I ran out of cheese. I think I like covered for a little bit of like hot sauce that I had, and I started doing hot sauce shots, but at some point I'm like, there's no need to donate anymore. Like we've been it's been 3 days, you know, it's all good. I think the point of the subathon, the celebration and all that kind of thing, it's fine. Cap it out, or I guess you can have like, if you notice that you're hitting things, and like for example like a shot every like dollar kind of thing, I think on a safety level, and you explain that to everyone that's currently watching, I didn't expect this level of support,
Yeah.
but like I will have to tone this down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
100%.
having just a natural conversation with your communities, that nothing wrong with that. Like when I stopped doing the whole bottles and doing portion bottles, like I made sure to explicitly like, look, for my safety, because I actually explained to him what water poisoning is on stream, like for my safety, I'm only gonna be doing this. Like you're not getting whole bottles. Plus, you know, that costs a lot of money. If you're doing 21 bottles per stream, like.
Yeah.
But like, having just a general conversation and explaining to your community, like, look, here's a thing, here's the situation, and just move on about it. I don't think I've had like one negative interaction where like me being honest caused a real ruckus per se, you know?
Your chat will respect it even more, to be
Yes.
honest with you, you know?
They will. It's
But
true.
authentic of you actually to be transparent about it, in a way.
Now, that covers everything that I had in authenticity. I don't know about if any of you have anything else, but I'm good to move on to online personas.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Online personas.
Dude.
How we present ourselves. And like I did bring up like the whole Dr. Disrespect, but like he's a good example. He's a phenomenal example of, because like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know the guy personally, but I bet he's not the same person off stream that he is on stream. And like nothing wrong with that. Like if you are yourself on stream as you are off stream, that's fine. But like some people, they come for a show, and sometimes the show is you pretending to be someone that you just aren't yourself. You, English is hard. You yourself aren't. Like I said, for me, I'm just me dialed up to 11 or 12. Like, and how you do that is like unique to you. Like when actually going way back when I was gonna be Dr. Zakta, that's already feeling like a callback, but like I was gonna pretend to be like an orc. I was gonna talk in broken English. I was gonna do the whole bit, and that was gonna be like per se the gimmick. And I think with something like that, you kind of have to prepare yourself for something like that, because like that is a whole beast in itself. It's like I said, the reason why I stopped, speaking with a French accent, because it's like I don't think I could keep this up forever.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. It's again, it's your niche. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you too. Like when you was talking about how Dr. Disrespect is the way he is online could be different from the way he is IRL. I can attest to that. Like I said, meeting my favorite influencer, Dashi, when I was at E3 in LA 2016, Dashi was so chilled compared to how chaotic he is on YouTube, and just talking to him, I'm like, dude, I feel like meeting a brand new person, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, he says my online person, my online self got to be hype. It got to bring the crowd out. It's like, you know what? I respect that. And that's where I get it from. So like, if y'all meet me IRL, oh yeah, I'm energetic, but I'm more chill where I can just like, conversate with you and all that too. Like, yeah, I'll show some love for sure, but I'm not as chaotic IRL as I am online,
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just what you portray yourself to be. That's what I'm saying. It goes back to entertainment. It goes back to how you vision your entertainment to be, how you vision your content to be as well. Authenticity also plays a part in your online persona as well too. So all that just wraps into one bun, and then you got to kind of like, just take into account, how you portray yourself online. That's going to be memorable to people, and consistency. You got to be consistent with that as well too. So listen, man, your persona just branches out to so many different factors, man. It's you got to be really, really, mindful of, how you know, because you can't listen. I could be like, hey, yeah, what's up? Let's go there. And then next stream, I'm like, so yeah, we're gonna go, you know, just relax and, you know, play this, man. Nah, because people are like, yo, what's going on, man? You just did a 180, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, be mindful of your persona all the time, man. It's a lot going on, but yeah, it does. People notice. People will definitely notice, man, if something changes about your persona.
And I feel like if you have like that kind of a different, like where you're playing a character, because that's kind of what you are doing. If you're playing a character, you should have, well, I can't say because I'm not an expert on the matter, but like I feel like you probably should have a really solid, concrete idea of how that character acts, how they portray themselves, how they do certain things. Because like the moment you break character, people see through that, and then the authenticity, as we mentioned before, like it ruins it, you know?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes our IRL selves come out at times, you know what I mean, where people are not used to it. But yeah, you definitely just again, you know, just kind of you know, I guess it just takes to an account just being true to yourself, you know, because if you're true to yourself as well too, then you're comfortable. You don't have to really, you know, be a different persona, you know what I'm saying? Like your persona is yourself. You can, you know, people can be drawn to you just by your original, you know, you, in a sense, you know. Yeah, that can work out well, you know. That can definitely work out well. So yeah, you don't have to be somebody to have an online persona, you know what I'm saying? So we're not just encouraging people to do that. Oh, you got to be somebody. You got to act like this person. Act like no. Be yourself. You know, you'll be surprised how, you know, being yourself can actually, you know, go far with you. You know, and it's easy.
It's interesting you say that because when I first started thinking about streaming, one thing that I was really concerned about, so I have really bad ADHD, and I don't take medication for it because I don't like how medication makes me feel. But as part of that, when you have something like that, when you're out in the world, you're wearing a mask. It's called masking. It's a mental health terminology if you haven't heard it before. It's basically, you know, there's certain things that you won't do because you've learned that society doesn't like those things, or they're gonna make you perceived one way or another. Most people are masking in their day-to-day life. It's just something that humans, I think, naturally do. You're adapting to social situations. When you have, you know, like ADHD or autism or something like that, it's a little bit more extreme. And one thing I told Cloud when he was like, hey, if you wanted to stream, like, I would support that. I was like, but isn't that just going to be another mask? Do I really want to go all to work all day and mask up and then come home and mask back up? COVID jokes could be made here as well. And do I really want to just put on a different mask when I come home? And the answer for me was no. I don't really feel like doing it, which is funny because I'm a VTuber, so you could argue it's a mask in and of itself. But one thing that I think that I love about the content that I make is that it's truly just me, a little bit unmasked. Sometimes I ramp it up to like Paz, I ramp it up to 11 and do whatever. But a lot of the content and like things that you see from me is just me not masking my ADHD for a few hours a day and just being real with myself and like letting loose.
I remember the detective game.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun. Yeah, Paradise Killer. It was the name of the game.
Paradise Killer. Yeah, but like at the same time, some of the content that came out of that was fantastic.
Yes.
And like is still quotable and quoted to this day in my community. That's where Wrath of Sweden came from. Like was those streams, you know, like and so from going kind of alluding back to our previous podcast, like if you are neurodivergent and this is your outlet for that too, your persona doesn't, you know, can be a little bit of that. And I'm just gonna say, like, sometimes that can be successful for you. I obviously do still keep some monitors on, right? But that's out of like a code of ethics of things. Like I would never say them anyway, so I'm definitely not gonna say them on stream. Or it's a code of being respectful of my fellow content creators and knowing that their brands are associated with mine. And so I'm definitely not going to come on here and like get myself in a political scandal. Not that I think I have problematic opinions, but like
Yeah.
any opinion can be problematic, right? Like, so just like being mindful of others and things like that. Like in that sense, I'm still being mindful of the fact that I'm in the public eye, but for the most part, when we play a video game, we play a video game.
Yeah.
And we goofing off. Like
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of my persona stance that I sit on.
It's funny hearing all of you guys talk about how you almost turn it down, or not that you turn it down a notch, but or the opposite.
Turn it
you
up.
turn it up a notch in stream, right? I feel like I do the opposite, which is so
yeah.
uncommon, and I think it's most evident in my texting or like in chat style. With Mcknux, I am hovering over that game over the whole stream, looking for a good moment. And then when Paz, like, I don't even know if he notices anymore because he's big time. No, just to hype up a friend. But like, what's it called? Everybody's being chaotic. I'll throw an extra bit of chaos in there or something, or I'll do the same with Baguette, and I'm just kind of like lurking in the shadows. But it's
Oh my
evolved.
God.
But like, especially when I was like super active in these chats, yeah, people knew me as like almost like a troublemaker, like
Yeah.
on Twitter, and like,
Yep.
kind of like,
Yep.
and it's so funny because they'll get to know me, they'll follow me back, and then raid me, and they're like, sorry, did I get the wrong person?
Yup.
No, straight up. I remember meeting you in Murph's chat. You're one of the mods, and you would banter with Murph and banter back with me. And I, for a while, was like, I don't know if this person actually likes me. And then I figured out that you did. And then obviously you had, you know, our voice calls and things that we've done, you know, to get to know each other. And but yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I came in on one of your streams, I was like, I literally called Cloud over and I was like, this is Mafi. And he was like, the same Mafi that was like trolling Murph relentlessly yesterday in chat. Like, I was like, yeah. Totally different vibe.
It's so funny. Like, yeah, I think that silliness, that almost like, I've never been drunk in my life kind of thing, but almost that kind of like unhinged behavior, you find that in VCs, and it's so interesting because I definitely find myself in kind of the anomaly position of it, because especially in the beginning of not even VTubing or streaming, but like content creation stuff, there's some people that I like collabed with at first in the sphere, and I was like, okay, from your streams you have this kind of vibe, and then I talked to them off stream, and they just, bless them, they work so hard, but I can tell them like, you sound like a tired from work right now. And I'm like, this is like fourth wall breaking kind of thing, and it's so weird, like,
Oh no, my immersion.
yeah, exactly. but it's like, I think that although it breaks immersion, especially as a content creator trying to get to know other content creators, I think it's also kind of nice because it's a little bit vulnerable in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's nice to have that, and I think I'm not as close, admittedly, to Mcknux, but I think that's starting to develop over time as our
Absolutely.
interactions like go on. But with Paz and Baguette, like, I definitely get a different feel, like when it's like a 10 p.m. like VC kind of thing, right? Compared to their on stream, and like it's also learning to adapt to your friends' like changes and things like that. But yeah, it's neat.
Absolutely. I know there are times I come into Mafi's VCs. I'm not admittedly there as much as I'd like to be, but I'll like pop in, and like sometimes I'm like super amped because I just worked for like hyper fixated for like 6 hours on a project, and I need to show someone, and everyone's awake, and I'm like, look at my thing that I made. But then sometimes I come in and I'm like, what's up? How you doing?
It's like you sleepwalked
Everybody
in.
vibing. We're vibing in the VC. Yeah.
So this is not anything I could easily, if we're ready to move on to the next one. Not an easy thing to really segue into, but like as someone in regards to like your brand, getting stuff for your brand, in this case like art and stuff. I myself, I'm only going to speak about my personal experiences. I've only have really made in regards to developing the brand, as I mentioned before with Dr. Zakta, like I purchased from a company to develop the model and stuff, which didn't pan out, but like it's something. Do your research, spend your time, look at reviews, understand your rights as a consumer as well as a very important one. But like, so like don't pull a me where you spend a lot of money on something and then it turns into something that's like, oh, this is what I got, all right, cool, like I said, do your research, take your time, and like, yeah, it's okay if it takes a couple months down the road, but like, yeah. I can't stress this enough. Like,
treat your brand investment just how you treat any other investment. Yep. I mean, it's super easy to find just any random artist in your price point and have them do what you want. But if you're not sure that's what you want to do, then don't do it yet. Like, I have purposefully not commissioned backgrounds because I didn't have a brand that I was certain I wanted. And so if I'm gonna drop, probably $200 minimum on a background with everything for a stream setup, like I want to make sure that I get that right the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then secret peek, I'm getting a 2D version of myself commissioned for when I collaborate with my 2D friends. I was really, really picky about the artist and making sure that their art style wouldn't just be an anime version of this character with the same color scheme, that it would actually translate. And I know in the VTuber sphere, that's, a specific, like, art is very important. Like, continuity of art is super important. Making sure your colors are correct, making sure that the styles all sync and mesh together can be super important as well. So, like, take your time, do your research, don't jump on the first opportunity, think things through. And if you're gonna buy something expensive, think about it for a week, and if you're still thinking about it, then buy it.
Yeah.
Don't just buy it immediately because you saw somebody else had one.
Right.
Like, if you have an idea, shelve it for 1 week, and if you still are thinking about it, okay, then start doing the research and doing what you need.
Absolutely, and I agree with you on that too, man. I remember the art behind me right here was one of my Facebook friends that I've just met. And she was like, I looked at her work and I was like, yeah, this is so beautiful. I like this style. Now I kind of envisioned how I want myself to be. And I was like, you know what? This would be, I'm sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way. This would be like a Saturday morning cartoon version of me, man, that I know people would love to watch, man. I was like, this is perfect. Yeah, let's make this happen. If this was Adventures of Mcknux on 4Kids TV or something like that, this would be perfect, So, I have plenty of fan art of me going around the internet, man. This is crazy. And then that's why I hate you so much, man. But
sorry.
but that's that. Of course, God, the memes. The memes
are so good, though.
Oh my God, that's why I love my.
Don't let your memes be dreams. They're so good.
But the memes, the art, man, it just even like the music videos and the musical tracks, man, that people just actually make for me is it just works so much, man. You again, definitely shop around, especially if what you want your brand to be, but you'll find that your community is going to help you out with that, your branding. When it comes to just whatever you want it to be, art, music, whatever it is, man, your community is going to help you on that one.
In regards to memes, I do want to point, not really point, but bring attention. Like, I think as a content creator and your brand in general, memes are your lifeblood. Like,
yeah.
Your content, well, not your content. Your brand lives and dies by the memes that it generates. Ooh, that's a good quote. I like that.
Yeah.
Quote that.
There you go.
Ours.
There you go. I'll pass.
That's some classic Pazuah wisdom right there.
But no, like, I think it was Linus. He was talking about like one of the like new. This was like years ago. Like websites that was released, and it's like he said something along the lines of like he knew that the thing would die because you couldn't screen cap, like take a screen capture of whatever it was on that website or whatever it was. And he knew like it would die because you couldn't make memes out of it, and like that's how you get publicity in a certain extent. Like, cause like when it starts blowing up like within your community, you can bet someone else is gonna take that outside of the community. Like, hey, look what I just found, you know?
Exactly. The funny thing is, Paz, is that all right? So real quick, because behind Baguette's emotes, man, of me, you know what I mean, thinking anyway. So I have one of my first streaming buddies was, and he's streaming right now, is Mcknux 713, right?
Mug's great.
And Mcknux is amazing. So what we did was we was like, you know what, we're going to, you know, we're going to banter on each other, you know what I mean? And what we do is we have like a meme war. We'll make like, you know, y'all will come into my streams and you'll see me Mug eating an ice cream sandwich or you know, because he ate like a spicy bean or something like that. I'll make those kind of memes, you know, a bunch of those memes. And he, in his channel, he has a bunch of channel point redemptions of just me in meme form, you know what I mean? Like if you get a chance, go on his channel and just ask him how many channel point redemptions he has of me. It's like that. We go back and forth, but just the audience loves it. And so, you know, it's just that, cause it's just certain things like that. I'm like, you know what, that makes that's part of the brand. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the brand. Your memes can also be part of the brand, and it works well, you know, because it just generates a lot of views, you know.
It's a lot more beneficial to lean into them. I have some memes of myself that I personally offline don't like. Like I don't love them. I don't love biblically accurate Baguette. I don't like that. When that happened, is that my goal for myself? Is that what I would want to my one thing that I was known for to be? No. But at the same time, there's a certain freedom as well to leaning into the memes, because you can let go of the anxiety or the my brand like feelings that you have, because you're able to just laugh with your community.
Is that a comment about Genie Paz?
I think it is, Paz. I think we need to embrace Genie Paz
you to know,
in all of his shirtless glory.
I gave 3 days. The goal was 1. I gave the community 3 days of that. I didn't get to see any of it. I'm super mad.
I don't know how you conceded into this.
And I also want to say it's even a part of the mods fun command. Granted, it's slim, but it exists, and Sweets has gotten it once.
I know.
Oh my
love it so
God.
much. Genie Paz is really good.
I'm like, why, man?
I hate it. It's not like, don't get me wrong, I don't like the fact that he's shirtless, but I hate that he's bald. And don't give me that argument that the little ponytail, it doesn't mean he's bald.
He does have a little ponytail. So let me just explain this Genie Paz real quick. This was somebody from Paz's community who approached me and asked me to make this, okay?
Yeah.
And they will remain nameless. But I made it as a request, and you know what? It drove a ton of engagement. It was a reward for it, make a charity endeavor. So I don't want to hear you complain about Genie Paz one more time, because that man has worked miracles. He has granted wishes.
Yeah.
It was for a good cause, Paz. It was for a good cause, you know?
I need to get more time to finish biblically accurate baguettes. That way it could be a fair trade.
Oh my God.
It's never gonna be a fair trade.
What do you mean it's never gonna be a fair trade?
Is so crazy. Oh man.
I even made her look pretty.
She is pretty till her neck explodes.
I think she's pretty with or without the extendo neck. Look, all I'm gonna say is, at the end of the day, when you need someone to get the last Pringle inside the can, you call it biblically accurate baguette.
Oh my God. If I have one piece of advice to our listeners, it's if you want to have control over your own brand, don't be friends with Paz.
How about that?
You
I
will
feel like
find
it goes
ways.
the other way too.
Yeah, right.
Because
Only in retaliation.
Mafi facts.
on that model, like I've seen it. I've been on those calls. Like it's like 11 p.m. and then Baguette just gets that itch to like bully you via Vroid. That's insane. How do you get bullied by an OC? And then it's 5 a.m. and this monstrosity is just like
Oh
been
my
born.
god.
It's beautiful.
This is not okay.
It is.
Oh,
You're next. Oh, you're next.
Dear.
oh man.
With love, with love. It's not bullying, it's just love. That's how I, show my love.
I can't with you.
My love language is Vroid. Oh man. What a time.
Yeah.
What a conversation we have had today.
Honestly, the irony of that statement is like I finished all the topics that I had written down.
Oh,
So-
fantastic.
Nice.
I don't know if
Now we
any-
gotta figure out that outro.
Yeah, if you're all done with any other topics, because like this is a miscellaneous section where anything could go. Like if you have anything that kind of is like a tack on per se in regards to the subject matter.
Oh man, I really can't think of anything else because we covered so much about branding.
Everything,
Yeah.
I'd say I think so. Mafi?
One thing that's been really interesting this whole stream, and I keep staring at it. Do you have a shower curtain, or is that an actual green screen?
That's an actual green screen. That is an actual green screen. Yep, this thing is. Listen, I cannot show my background because it feels like one of my bedrooms when I was like 10 years old. Man, it's so messy. But
Oh, such a mood.
Yep. But
What do
so
you give a VTuber?
Yep. That's why I'm thankful for my green screen, man. It just covers my area. I'm so happy, yo.
Look,
So happy.
I'll be real with you. I when I started streaming, like, well, actually a little bit before, I considered like the pros and cons between being a VTuber and this like face camming stream, whatever you want to call that category. Like, I considered the pros and cons, and ultimately what I decided, the reason why I went VTubing, like don't get me wrong, the whole hidden identity kind of thing is like that's great and all, but surprising, like that's not the real goal. I felt like I could do way more with my VTuber model than I ever could do with like a cam stream. Like, I mean, just be on stream for me, like just like for like 5-10 minutes, you'll see what I mean. But like, there is so much you can do as a VTuber. Like, you can't, like, to a certain extent, I guess you can yeet yourself in real life, but like, it's a lot easier as a VTuber.
Well, so funny. I've had man. I'm glad the clip is gone. But I had a hard stream where I was playing. I got so scared that I jumped back and this is a brand new green screen. To tell you the truth, I jumped back and actually went through my green screen. And dude, I'm so,
Immersion.
yeah, it was. And chat was like, "What is going on?" Like they just see me just get swallowed by my green screen because I told you I was like, I told you I was like, I just broke my green screen. I just tore through it because I jumped back. I got so spooked. I jumped back and just literally just went through like a pierce through a hole. And I got swallowed by my green screen. It was crazy, so yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, with your face, cam and all that too. I've done some stupid stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've done a lot more stupid stuff, babysat a dog and the dog jumped on me during screen, during one of the streams all the time, so I was like, yeah, you can. There's a lot of things that happen, way back in my streaming career days, man. That and some horrible things, man. I don't really recall anymore, but it's hilarious.
Didn't want to do makeup, hair, or get dressed.
Oh
fancy.
my god!
I'm in a hoodie right now, and look how good she looks.
Hey, hey. Listen, that's the benefits, man. Trust me, man. If I'm in my cat persona, cuz listen, I am butt naked. There you go. So,
I'm gonna remember that.
That's lore that I didn't think I ever needed to know.
let me stop.
It's so funny, like with the, I guess it's similar in a way, but like, because you forget like, there's a real person behind that. And with this is such a tangent, but like with Murph, she has like one where she like sticks her tongue out and just goes like, meh. And I just love it because I like to think of like a woman in her 30s just like deciding to do that, to sing her tongue out at her monitor.
I love how Moppy says a woman in her 30s just sticking her tongue out, man. Like, yeah.
I love that realization.
Oh,
I love how we can pay with fake currency to make her do that.
yeah. You know, the craziest thing is we're in such an amazing generation now, man, that, like I said, when we're in our 40s and 50s and 60s, you know, we're still going to act like how we acting right now, you know, because it's the way, like, we're so lucky to be in this generation. So, oh my God, man, like, I can't wait to, I mean, if I ever have kids, to troll the hell out of my kids, you know, and just, you know, just annoy them so much, man. And dude, like I said, I do that to my cousins and nieces and nephews that I babysit all the time. You know what I mean? I troll them that they hate me and they love me at the same time. I'm like, well, listen, you already know who I am on stream. They're like, yeah, we know. Okay, Uncle Nux said, that's fine. Oh, there you go. You know, I just love it. I love it so
Like
much.
when you look at your younger sibling and you use like that Skibbity Ohio toilet riz, and they're just like, never say that.
Oh man, it's a joy, I tell you.
I'm gonna rebrand to just Skibbity Ohio toilet riz. I don't know. Oh man.
Yeah, I ain't got anything else to add on.
Yeah.
God.
On the topic of branding, we still haven't really decided on what an outro should be, but I did the intro, so I think it's only fair that Mafi or Paz did the outro this time, because I did the outro last time.
I think at least ending an outro, because we've already done our tags like in a previous podcast, but I feel at the very least having the guest always give like, hey, you could find me at this location, this location, this location. I think that's a great staple.
Yep.
So,
all right, Mcknux.
yeah, where can we find you, or where could the audience find you?
I will say, like I always say on every show that I'm guesting at, man, Google me. That's it. Google me. Type in Mcknux on Google, you'll find me.
I'll do it right now. Hold on.
There you go.
But why is there a picture of you in a painting with like ripped muscles? Man, wow, weird.
Does he look great?
Yeah.
I hate you so
When
much.
did you collaborate with barbecue sauce?
Oh my god.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's all I can say. Google me, dude. You'll be surprised how many things pop up. Google me. There you go. That's where you'll find me at. You know, all my social media is there. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You know, God, I'm trying to think.
Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, Facebook.
Wow.
Everywhere. I'm everywhere. I am everywhere where I can fit my name in. So, yep. Absolutely.
Also, the name will be both in the description as well as right underneath. I can't point. Well, actually, I can point, but then I'll be flapping my arms up and down.
Hey,
so,
that's what we can do at Real People. There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right there. You can look at that name right there. Provided that I know how to spell. That's a me issue if I can't.
I mean, but other than that, like I said, you know, shout out to y'all for doing y'all thing for this podcast. We gotta have you on. I gotta have y'all on my podcast as well too, which is
Heck yeah.
Pass the Controller. You know, and we do our streams once a month. And we just talk about video games and just nothing but just straight up nothing but video game. We're pretty much, you know, our influence for doing Pass Controller is, you know, IGN. We love watching the IGN podcasts and a lot of IGN-esque branched off podcasts as well too that does video game content. So yeah, you know, we do the same thing. Just a few best friends just walk, you know, just talking about what games they're playing and some video game news. And we would love to have y'all on hopefully soon. Soon.
I'm down. Super down.
Absolutely. So we'll make that happen.
Sounds like a plan.
Sweet.
All right. Well, for the rest of us, the Mafi, Baguette, and Paz, you can find our information inside of the description down below. I don't have any major announcements that I can think of, unless you two have something you can think of. No?
Nah.
All right, everybody. As usual, we appreciate you. You're all amazing. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. And with that said, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.